Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel, guys, with me, Free Tip Scout, for a bit of scouting today, midweek scouting, and just a bit of discussion around Sorare. Hope you're all having a lovely weekend. What have you been up to? I want to hear actually what you guys have been up to, and I also definitely want to hear how things have been going for everyone on Sorare, Ultimate Champions, Pooky, the usual suspects of games that we play. If you want to get involved in those, by the way, then you will be able to find those in the chat. So there's a couple of links there from the Nightbot. Thank you to Twitch Gaming for posting them. So if you guys want to get involved in these games we're going to cover and you're not already playing them, do use those links because those links will give you lots of freebies. Twitch Gaming was at the Dortmund game yesterday. Let's not talk about it. What happened, man. We have to talk about that. We have to talk about it. 2-1 up, ended up losing 3-2. And I had that game as 3-2 on Pookie as well. I obviously had it 3-2 for the home team, Dortmund. What happened? I didn't watch it. I was looking at the score and I saw it was 2-1. And then the next time I looked at it, they lost 3-2. I couldn't believe it. What actually happened there, man? And yeah, the old blue £1 billion bottlers, or the bottle jobs. That has got to go down as one of the best one-liners from Gary Neville's locker ever. Potentially the best one. I mean, it took me back by surprise when I heard it. I couldn't actually believe I heard it. You know, when you're just, you're listening to the commentary and you're registering things, but you're not really paying too much attention. And then somebody just drops something in. You're like, what? And that was it, wasn't it? Brilliant. You're just shit. Our coach needs to go, but he's on Wasatka's balls. Man, that's a really terrible performance from you guys. I think the difficulty with Dortmund is that even though you have, of course, still things to play for, right? Of course, the Champions League spot, it's probably quite demotivating as well, demoralizing that the team are so far down than where they should be really in the Bundesliga. I mean, I would have honestly expected Dortmund to have maybe lost that away, but at home, you'd expect them not to lose that. Shocking, really. One question I have, what's your opinion on the foul against Gravenberch yesterday? Was it a red in your opinion or not? Saw a lot of English fans saying it wasn't even a yellow. So when I was watching the game yesterday, the Gravenberch foul, in real time, I think that it's one of those tackles that you can miss, actually, because it looks like he's going for the ball. He's a little bit late. But he's not really going with intent to hurt him. But of course, it's quite dangerous and it's still a bit clumsy. So I think it should have been a yellow, but I don't think it should have been a red. And it obviously wasn't a red. But yeah, I think it should have been a yellow card. Definitely. I think that, or maybe I'm wrong here, but I feel like the referee didn't give a yellow because he missed it. Because as I say, in real time, it just looked like one of those tackles there. He almost just missed the ball, but then the play moves on quite quick after that. So then the referee probably diverted his gaze more towards the next kind of tackle or the next phase of play. But I think, yeah, it definitely should have been a yellow. It looks really bad in slow-mo, doesn't it? Really bad. You saw people saying it was Gravenberch's fault. I think there's a lot of stupid people out there. It's definitely not his fault at all. How could it be his fault? What? Are they saying that he played the ball too far and so then it invited the tackle, or how could it possibly be his fault? Anyone who's saying that, I don't think actually watched the game or saw the tackle like properly. It was just a sloppy late tackle, wasn't it? But I think it should have been a yellow. Yeah. Yeah, the ref was letting a lot go, wasn't he? He was either letting a lot go or he was just almost afraid to start getting his book out early. He did start to book quite late on, didn't he? Topsy, but he let a lot go. I mean, Caicedo, he was making some poor tackles. I mean, he was obviously part of the Gravenberch tackle, right? But there was tackles flying everywhere. There was late tackles. It took a while for him to start booking. I actually thought the game was really good, though. I didn't think the game was like too dirty or anything like that. I actually thought the game was really good. The offside goal that they chalked off for Liverpool initially, I was really, really surprised by that. Really surprised by that because that was, I mean, I'll be honest with you, I was even watching the replay and I was like, okay, I get it now that like that guy is making a block, Endo was making a block, but I mean, come on, you never see that, you never ever see that. Yeah, you never see that given. So I was really surprised by that. I thought that was a bit harsh, but in the end, they got the win, didn't they? Very good. Like, given that that was a 0-0, that was a very entertaining 0-0 draw for a lot of the game. Like, it's basically 127 minutes, wasn't it? Yeah, me too. I'm not obviously not a fan of Liverpool because, I'm a Man United fan. I'm not really a fan of any of them. I was actually debating whether we should do a watch along for it. But then there was like kind of two reasons why I decided not to do it. The first one was, of course, that it's a competition that's not even covered in Sorare, so it would seem a bit strange to do a bit of a watch along there. And then also it's freaking two teams that I don't really like, so I almost don't want to give them the airtime. But yeah, they just shriveled away, didn't they, Chelsea? They really shriveled away. I mean, it's amazing though that you can tell that Liverpool, even the kids, not only do they want to go and make a good impression, but you can tell that it's on every player's mind that they must try and win as much as they can this year in Klopp's final year. You can just tell because even in 110, 115 minutes, they were running like it was the first 5 minutes. They had so much energy, they had so much desire, and you could just tell that they just didn't want to let Klopp down. So, yeah, pretty cool to see. Um, yeah. So, and they really celebrated, didn't they, Liverpool? I even read that Klopp said that this is his best trophy that he's ever won. Out of all the trophies that he's won, this one feels the most special, and it's just a League Cup. It's not even really that considered that highly regarded in England. But I think that's just how much it meant to him that he'd done it mainly with kids as well throughout the season. Had all these injuries as well. The fact that they beat Chelsea, and it was, to be fair, they had to ride their luck a lot, didn't they? Both teams did. But yeah, I thought that was really interesting how out of all of the trophies that he's won, he said that this was the most special. So really cool. Really cool. I do hope that, even though it's Liverpool, I do hope that Klopp can maybe win another one this season before he says goodbye to Liverpool. Chelsea's team was younger than Liverpool, just didn't cost a billion. Yeah, exactly that. Guys, how have you been getting on in Sorare as well? How's your team's been doing? I'm gonna quickly bring up mine so I can just show you guys how it's going. It's actually been quite disappointing for me this week. Yeah, quite disappointing, guys. We are hitting threshold, so we're hitting the rare threshold. There we go. 307 points. We had to, of course, hit 270. So I'm obviously very happy with this here. But the reason I'm a little bit disappointed is because when we put the teams together, I actually felt that we had the right fixtures this week to be challenging for at least one card reward from one of our rare teams. I thought that our 220 rare team had a really good chance of winning a card, and we just didn't get any decisives apart from the goalkeeper. We had too many low scores. Yeah, just really a big shame because I thought that we had quite a good team here, good players. Funny enough, Tapia actually scored a goal, but it got cancelled. But I mean, even if his goal had counted, we would have still been just a little bit too far away. So yeah, pretty bad score from Bokat at home. Expected better from him, and then I was hoping that one of these two would produce some kind of a decisive. So yeah, really annoyed that that didn't come off for us there. And then we also had, of course, Challenger Europe, and I didn't think this one would do that good because we had some difficult fixtures. So yeah, I'm not too surprised that this didn't. This was not close to a card award. But then the other one that we had in play was the All Star Rare. Yeah, and this one here is technically still in play, but we are 135 points away from a tier 5. So we're, even if Carlos gets 100, we're not going to be able to win anything here. And what's kind of a little bit annoying is that we actually placed Eli Room in the right team here because he got 66.1. So we spent a lot of time figuring out, do we need to play Room or do we need to play, it was Kofi, wasn't it? Yeah. And we played, the right goalkeeper. The stack was okay, where, Carlin's Arcus got 53.6. The team actually won, but then we just didn't get enough. We didn't get any decisive so far. We needed Montero to do something. We needed Cosio to deliver a score way better than that. And this is actually a really bad score because you can see here, look, he only played 33 minutes, and he started off the bench. So, yeah, pretty annoying. But I just thought we'd do better this week. Even in the limited teams, we've got this team here in Cap 220. It just didn't really pay out or like pay off. So, yeah, pretty frustrating, guys. Don't want to talk about Sorare 2. Worst game week since I've started playing. The bounce back on the weekend will be huge, though. Yeah, I'm looking forward to bouncing back from this one. Hopefully in the midweek we can do it, which we're going to be talking about in a second. Hello to Arthur as well. How you doing, Arthur? Good afternoon. Free tip scout. I got $8 and a tier 4 in Cap 240. Lovely. Lovely, man. Really well done, Arthur. The fact that you got the $8, which is the mid-range rate, incredible. Yeah. Yeah, I bet it does, yeah. What was the points total that you got then? Did you just about get over the line, or did you kind of smash it past the line? You even had the GOAT, Brad Guzan, but the lineup crashed, Sopsy. I love that you have Guzan. I mean, I've been saying for a while now, everyone should almost try and avoid Guzan, but he done well, didn't he, Guzan? Didn't he save the penalty, no? Guzan? 369.15. Yeah, he saved that penalty. He got 71.9, which is pretty good. Look how cheap Guzan is, It's like £67. I feel like we've reached a new norm for rare goalkeepers now. I feel like rare goalkeepers are probably going to be, as a norm, like the budget goalkeepers who would have usually been about £150, £200. I feel like a lot of the budget goalkeepers now, they're reaching a norm which is like under £100, which is probably a pretty good position to be in. Yeah. Anyone else? Who else had a good game week or a bad game week in Sorare? I'd love to know. Also, one quick thing. You guys know that I don't really play Sorare Rivals anymore. But we did play Sorare Rivals yesterday for the Zidane experience, and we were lucky enough to score 400 points with this team here. I think if you picked this team, then this was probably the team to pick in this match because there weren't actually a lot of high-scoring players in here. Look. So there were just a load of scores around the 40s and 50s, which, is going to make it really difficult for you to then hit 400 if you don't pick the exact 5. And there was only really 5 or 6 players that would have got you over 400. And it was pretty much Lunin, Mendy, Cruz. You could also argue this guy here, if you'd have picked him. Modric, though, as well. My team was pretty cool. My team had 0 of the cap left over. So when I put this team together, it was bang on whatever the cap was. I can't remember what it was, but there was 0 points remaining. And it always had to be Cruz as the captain, didn't it? I saw a couple of people that didn't captain Cruz, and that's just madness to me because Cruz, when he plays at home for Real Madrid, he is averaging like 71.5 or something. 71 points. He has like an AA of 31.3. And this is for Madrid in all competitions when he's playing at home. And he has scored he scored, I think it's 80 points or more in 33% of his games at home. and he's just an absolute monster. So whenever Cruz is starting, um, even if it's away as well, there's just a big argument that you should just captain him. So when I put this team together, it literally took me 2 minutes to do. If that, it took me about a minute to do actually. And I just immediately put the captaincy on Cruz because when you do that, you know he's pretty much going to come through for you. Who else got a ticket in the chat? Who else got a Zinedine Zidane ticket? Arthur, you got one too. Lovely. And Wistomania is currently 26th in Rare America. Oh my word. With what team? Wistomania. We'll bring you up on the screen. We'll have a look at you now, man. Yeah, you could have picked Valverde instead of Vinny too, yeah. I don't really pick Valverde often. Whenever I've had to pick from like Real Madrid, I tend to skip him. But yeah, you're right. You could have picked him, definitely. There's actually a couple of people that you could have picked because, you know, if you look at Vinny, Vinny got 57, right? So he got 56 point whatever, which was effectively 57. Yeah, we could have picked Valverde. We could have, you know, technically picked this guy here as well if we wanted to. Just a very strange game because there just weren't a lot of super high scores, but I'm really happy we got in it. So we're going to be in the raffle to see if we can win the Zidane experience, which is all good. Yeah, I know. Fucking hell. Audris Vinagris. I know that Valverde is a midfielder, but obviously you could have put Valverde in as the extra man. Come on, dude. Come on, man. You know that we know Sorare, so you don't have to even be saying stuff like that. I feel that's a little bit insulting that you would even say that, man. Come on, it's not like we're rookies on the game, for God's sake. Come on, man. There's always an extra spot, right? So you can always play someone else in an extra spot. It doesn't matter on the position, okay? Wistomania. Wistomania, where you at, man? Is your name Wistomania? Let's have a little look. I think it probably is, isn't it? Let's have a little look here because Wistomania says that he is 26th at the moment. Wow. Look at this here. Let's just have a little gander. So Wistomania has mentioned that he's 26th in Champ America this weekend. And this is the team. Oh, there's the Messi. There's the Messi paying off for him. So look at this team here. Joe Willis, who we absolutely love. He's a great goalkeeper, especially for the MLS, where you're not often going to get loads of clean sheets. But when Joe Willis and Nashville play at home, they're going to keep a lot more clean sheets than usual. And that's exactly what happened here. And then we've got Gazdak, who's amazing. Bouanga, Messi. I mean, to be honest with you, this team of Willis, Gazdag, Bouanga, Messi, this team of four, I'd say is pretty much like the four that you would expect in a winning America team, especially like a winning MLS team. This is a bit surprising though. Nathan Harriel, I mean, he's got some good levels of scoring to him. I don't really consider him to be a bit of a heavy hitter to play. So I think the surprising thing here, Wistomania, is that you actually don't have like a defensive stack. So you didn't go for someone like a Walker Zimmerman. Maybe you don't have him, or a Jack Mayer. Even though I'm not a huge fan of Jack Mayer, he did score pretty well there, which would have given you a better score. Walker Zimmerman actually didn't even start. Oh, that's really surprising. How much is Walker Zimmerman now? Wow, 55, 56. Okay, cool. Oh, did he? Harry got a cancelled goal with Gaztek assist as well. Oh, wow. Wow, interesting. Yeah, I mean, do you have a Nashville defender? So I'd honestly say if you've got Joe Willis, so it's probably worth you having one of these here. And I would say, I mean, this guy is pretty good, actually. Lucas McNaughton. I think he's actually okay. I mean, he doesn't play a lot because most of the time Walker Zimmerman will play. And yeah, it looks like Zimmerman didn't play because, maybe he's just coming back from injury, as you said. But yeah, Jack's the type of defender where he doesn't tend to give you more than 50, 60. But he's like a kind of a regular starter. You can see that here every now and then he'll pop up with like a huge score. So if you don't have a Nashville defender, I would recommend you get one. They've also got a midweek utility at the moment as well. Oh, you're saving for a Kai Wagner. Oh, lovely. Even better then. Yeah. You definitely don't need a Nashville defender if you're going to get Kai Wagner. Definitely not. Yeah, really cool. So, congrats, man. Big congrats that you're going to be getting a tier 3 rare. How far away were you from? Oh, wow. 0.3 points away from a tier 2. I was going to say, because like that's the type of position that you would expect to be challenging for a tier 2. But it looks like you had to finish 25th in the top 25. Really good though, man. Only put 2 teams out as well for the weekend. That's a good return, isn't it? Put 2 teams out and have a 50% success rate of winning. Really good. How did everybody else do on Sorare? We're gonna hold off before we start. Also, before we start getting into what we're gonna talk about today, we're gonna hold off because we have like a really low number of people in here. So I want to just try and get a few more in before we start running through most of what we're gonna do today. I was surprised that Luca Orellana started already for Cincy after he was announced days before, but he's a very promising player, says Twitch Gaming. Did anybody win anything great from Rivals at all? So whether it be from the reward box or, wow, this is the only thing you can win, isn't it, from the reward boxes? Did anybody win anything good from Rivals at the moment? I'm not playing it, so I can't really, kind of talk about anything I've won because I'm just not playing it. Tin opened 2 boxes yesterday and won 3 tickets in both. Oh, rough. Yeah, rough. This is the reason why I don't play it. Another German who I know won Conor Gallagher tier 2 from 3 wins. Oh my god, that's pretty incredible though. That's really incredible. Is it their first card they've won from Rivals Twitch Gaming? And then Thipamino scored 367 in Cat 240 rare, but only targeted to $15. This is the thing that I'm worried about for myself personally, where you target the 270 and then you smash it completely and you get like over 350 or 360, sorry. No, 340. You get over 340. And then you're going to be thinking, oh shit, like I could have won $80 here. It's going to feel a little bit horrible. But yeah, still really well done that you hit the threshold, man. After the 72-hour free star membership trial on Sorare Data, do you keep the watch list and save lineups? I think you do, yeah. I think you do. If you continue, as in if you continue the star, then of course you will. It was his first card reward from it. Cool, man. What's he gonna do with the Conor Gallagher? Is he gonna keep it or sell it? Or that's really cool. How much is Conor Gallagher actually? Let's have a little look. Conor Gallagher. Very good tier 2. Wow. £9.39. Which, to be honest with you, is probably quite on the cheap side given the time of the year, the time of the season. I tell you what, I would love to win a Conor Gallagher from the reward box. Because this guy is really good. Like, really good. And I think there's still a lot more to come from him as well. He has a good season for Chelsea. He did, yeah. He has. But I think he's had a good season, but it could be a lot better. I just don't think that Chelsea have really been at the races all this season, right? They've been a little bit up and down. You can kind of see it from their results as well. I think probably next season they'll be a lot better. Yeah. Cool. How did everybody get on Pooky as well? How did everybody do on Pooky? Because I've had an okay game week on Pooky. I probably have to say I've had a pretty good game week on Pooky because we, again, didn't spend really any time. We put the same scores in, and I mean the exact same scores, 3-2, for all games in the USA League and all games in the German League. And we're going to be winning about 3 Matic, which is about £2.30, £2, something like that, which, you know, doesn't sound like a lot, right? And it really isn't. But when you spend like 1 minute, 2 minutes putting your lineups, or not lineups, your predictions together, then it's actually like a good return. We would have liked to have won a lot more. We didn't get any score that was 3-2, though. Look at this here. But 3-2, 3-2. We put 3-2 in for everything. In the USA League, it was actually, there were a lot of games that were quite low scoring. Look, 1-1 for Inter versus Galaxy, 0-0, 0-0, 1-1, 0-0, 1-0, 1-1, 1-0, 2-0. You don't really expect that from the MLS, where it's known for goals. So quite a underwhelming first debut game week for the MLS returning. But I think we're going to keep the same strategy where we do like a over 2.5 scoreline. Yeah, just didn't really hit what we wanted it to. In fact, if you go back here, look, if we go back, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We had 6 games out of the 15. 6 games out of the 15 where we got no points whatsoever. Okay, so that's pretty bad. You don't want to have 1, let alone 6, right? But we had 6 games where we got no points whatsoever, and we still ended up finishing 47th. 47th out of 174. So I have to take that as a big win because we didn't get an exact score, and we got 6 games completely wrong, and we still ended up finishing in the top 50. We don't even have like an MLS ball. We've only got, I think, 1 MLS sticker on the ball that we used. The ball that we actually used was this one here. So look, we've only got a sticker for Colorado. It's a Brazilian League ball. Imagine if we had an MLS ball. We would have probably finished like top 30 if we'd have had an MLS ball. And again, this is why I love this game, is that we're not even really doing that great this game week, yet we still finished top 50 and we're getting some form of return. We're getting some money in, and it's a lot more than, well, aside from the rare threshold, it's a lot more than what I've freaking got from Sorare this week. And look at the amount of time we spent putting our lineups together on Sorare, and we got no return whatsoever, apart from the rare threshold. Whereas here, we spent 2 minutes of our time, and we're getting about 3 Matic, which, you know, all adds up, doesn't it? It all adds up. Finished 57th on Pooky in the Bundesliga. Got Frankfurt and Augsburg correct yesterday, so pretty happy. 57th is good, man. How much do you get for the 57th Twitch Gaming? Graham, you legend. Thank you so much for the 7 months, man, and the sub. The Prime there, man. Thank you so much. Welcome back in. Have you thought about trying Stocks FC? I play Stocks FC already. I haven't really put a lot in. The amount that I put in, I haven't really got a good return, as in like my portfolio's down. So that kind of put me off by putting more money in. But I already play it, yeah. I keep an eye on it. I'm not playing it hard at the moment, but I might in the future. Yeah. You got 0.7 Matic in the French league. Better than nothing. It is better than nothing, yeah. And then Twitch Gaming is getting 2.4 Matic and 125 Pox. So pretty much what I got from the USA League. That's roughly what you're getting from the Bundesliga, isn't it? Yeah, look, I got 2.6 and 141. You're getting 2.4 and 125. But you finished a bit lower. In the German League, for me, we're only getting 0.42 Matic and 24 Pock. Again, it's better than nothing. Obviously, we want to win a lot more than that. But we'll take that because we didn't spend a lot of time. Again, look, we put all scores at 3-2. We didn't get any exact scores whatsoever. So no one game ended up being 3-2 the way that we thought it would be. And then we had, what was it? We had two scores as well, but we got 0 points from them. And we finished 185th out of 438. And remember, but on Pooky, in order for you to win something, to win cash, right, you need to finish in the top 50%, right? Top 50%. So if there's 438, then we had to basically finish in 219th position, the top 219. And of course, we done it kind of quite comfortably, even though we didn't really do that good. So yeah, not the greatest game week in Pookie. But given that it only took us 2 minutes to play last week, and we're still winning 3 manage and 160, 170 kind of POC, which, you know, is actually pretty good. We'll take it. So it's a pretty good win. In fact, the one thing that I haven't checked, I don't know who's won Beat the Base this week. So Beat the Base was in the USA League, and I haven't checked to see who's won it. So let's do that now. Okay, the base leaderboard, and then the rivals, and the winner is Hyperskirt. Hyperskirt. We have Hyperskirt in the chat every now and then, don't we? Look at the Don. Oh, the Don came third. Nicholas came second. Langers came, what, 6th there? Looking for Food got into the top 10. Paolo Hora. Good effort from everyone. I got 51 in the MLS on Pookie, even though I didn't predict all the games. No way. So, and 28 is you, is it? Is this you? Mangia, are you this one here, Yannick, on Pookie? Because if you are, that's a great effort. That's a really good effort, man. You finished 5th on Beat the Base leaderboard this weekend. Really good. Hyper, who wins it, he actually came 8th overall. And he got 915.9 points, which I think is pretty good for base points in the MLS, when most likely a lot of people probably didn't go for the low scoring. So the fact that Hyper got 915.9, and it was a very low scoring game week in the MLS, means that he was very successful at predicting that it was going to be a low scoring game week. And what Hyper wins, if you guys don't know, what Hyper wins, he wins a sticker. The sticker that he wins is this one here, isn't it? I think we were giving away the 4-0. So the rare 4-0 sticker, that's going to be yours, Hyper. So if you are on the stream already listening, or if you're listening to this later on, don't worry, I will drop an announcement on Twitter later today so that you can claim the sticker that you've won. So well done indeed. Yeah. Should we figure out the next Beat the Base as well? So that was last week in the USA League. Let's let everybody know, like right now, where the next Beat the Base is happening. So game week 67, there are 8 match days. There's the Japanese League, the Spanish League, Italian, French, Argentinian, English League again, German League, and the USA League. Now, we've done a lot of these European leagues, right? Because, you know, they were the active ones over the last few months. We've done the Argentinian League when that returned. We've just done the USA League because that just returned too. I actually want to run Beat the Base in the Japanese League this week because we haven't done that, I think, maybe ever. So the Beat the Base this weekend, or this week, should I say, is going to be in the J League. So you need to predict in the Japanese League for game week 67. And the sticker that I'll give away for it, I will give away the Monaco sticker. This one here. So if you want to win the club Monaco, then predict in the J League in game week 67. Make sure you fully predict it, and then try to get as many exact scores as you can. And if you're able to do that, then you will place really high up in the base leaderboard, and then you'll have a really good chance of topping that base leaderboard and winning that Monaco sticker. So, guys, this week, you want to play Beat the Base and win a Pooky sticker from me, Game Week 67 in the Japanese League. That's the one you need to predict in. And please don't forget as well, if you're new to Pooky, then you can get involved today. You can start playing for free today. You can also get involved today with my link, because that link there in the chat will give you a free Pokeball, 5% off your first purchase in the game, and a ton of in-game tokens, which you really need to help you progress in the game. So yeah, you can get started today. There's one sticker pack left to buy. Stickers are quite useful because they help to boost your scoring in a game week. But the main thing you need is a Pokeball, and there's only 19 available. There's only 19 left. So yeah, you've got 5 commons left. There's 12 rares. There's 1 epic left, and there's 1 legendary. You need to pick up one of these. You need to own at least one of them. And then once you have this, you can then start predicting in games and winning cash, as we do every week. All right. Who's playing? Who's going to be playing Beat the Base this week in the J League? Who's actually going to be giving it a go? Because there are some good games here, by the way. There's only 10, but there's some good games here. Also, if you don't know how to play Pooky, then you will be able to find a beginner's guide on my Twitch channel, also on YouTube as well, my YouTube. So there is a beginner's guide. Who's playing, guys? I'm asking a question, and all I hear is my voice coming back at me. It's so silent in the chat. It's like I'm in a cave. My voice is echoing back at me. You won't. You'll stick to the Bundesliga. Fair enough, because it's 100. It's going to cost you 100 energy. So if you maybe don't have a load, then it might not be your main focus. Yeah. But who is playing it? I'd like to know who is actually going to give it a go. And if you are going to give it a go, how do you think you can do in it? Yeah, 120 energy, but absolutely don't know the J League. Yeah, fair enough, man. Especially if you've got 120, you probably need to save it for the German League, don't you? Yeah. I feel like if you've got 200, 300, you can probably play the leagues that you want to and still play this one here. If you decide to go for this one and you've only got, 100, 150, then you are really going for this one and hopefully winning the sticker. Hello to Estonian Weirdo as well. You'll start joining them in a couple of weeks when I have my ball higher level. Fair enough, man. What level do you have your Serie R ball to at the moment? We might as well, whilst we're here, we might as well claim our rewards, shouldn't we? Yeah, let's claim our rewards and then let's do all our upgrades and our leveling up and stuff on Pooky. So let's claim. Guys, do not forget that there are going to be changes which are coming into Pooky soon, which will mean that what we're doing, where we just put the same score in every game week, it's probably going to be a lot harder to do to win money. So what I'm basically saying is that if you're not playing Pooky, then you really need to be trying to play it now. It's almost like with Sorare. Everybody that was playing Sorare and winning the threshold of like $50 was doing the right thing, because that was almost like a license to print money for you. And then, of course, they've then scaled it back and they've made it a lot not as rewarding. And I think in Pookie, there's probably going to be a change in the future, in the near future, where you can still win money from it, but you might not be able to win as much money from as little amount of effort and energy and no skill, no knowledge. So try and take advantage of it now, guys. Otherwise, you will regret it when they do finally make a change. Your Syria R ball is level is level 1. Oh my god. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so you do need to. The thing is though, Estonian Weirdo, is that your level ball doesn't matter for beat the base, right? So I know you're saying you want to start competing in it when you've got a higher level ball. You don't need like your level of ball doesn't count towards how you do in beat the base, right? So if you wanted to, you could start playing it today. It doesn't take into account any of the boosts from your Pookie ball when you play it. My ball is level 30, but I never invested more than one ball. I don't even have any stickers yet. And your ball is Houston. Oh, wow. I'm actually kind of jealous because I really want to have an MLS ball. I mean, I want to have an MLS and a Premier League ball, and we haven't got either. Yeah, it was a bit of a shame. We do, however, have an update to our German League ball, so let's do that. So upgrade it from level 54 to level 55. All right, there we go. We have one booster available, so we can put this on over 2.5 or the draw. Let's put it on over 2.5. Confirm. Okay. Does that give us an extra energy? No, it doesn't. Hold on a minute. Okay, no, that's fine. I was just looking at my balance and I was thinking, what happened to the Matic that we just won? But I think, I think we did get it. I think it's been added on to that. I just thought that we had that to begin with, but I don't think we did. Yeah, I think this is what we've now got. We need to start saving up and hopefully win more Matic, don't we? Let's go back, actually. I don't think we need to refill the pressure here. So let's refill the pressure. Well, it's going to cost us 10 POC, which is really not a lot, given that we've got 1,669. Yeah, I think Sorare's buggy too. When I woke up today and I wanted to check on Sorare, I was logged out of Sorare. And usually that happens if they're making an update of some kind. So you know what I thought? I thought to myself, oh, wow, what are Sorare going to be launching today if they are automatically logging us out? Because that usually happens when they're going to be, they're basically implementing some kind of an update. So yeah, wouldn't that be funny if that theory is correct? If we see that Sorare launched something later today, then we'll know that that's like the telltale sign that when you start getting logged out, it's because they are, yeah, changing the game. I really want to build an MLS team, but I won't because I just don't know when they will release the new season cards. I was talking to a friend about this on the weekend. I was saying to the friend that I think one of the really annoying things about the new season card launches is that we have absolutely no idea. We don't even have like a ballpark as to when to expect them. So, like, Sorare don't even say, okay, we're aiming to launch the new cards in this week, or you guys can maybe expect them, in 2 weeks from now, or, you can expect them within a month. We don't know the exact time. We don't even know a rough time frame. And I feel that's really frustrating because I also think that, like, they're missing out there a little bit, Sorare. Because if they told people, like, roughly when to expect the new cards, then what you would find is that people would then start to save a little bit of money, put a little bit of money away just to save for those cards. And that in itself would potentially increase the floor prices of the cards that they sold at auction. But then probably the reason that they don't want to give people an indication is because if people were to start saving, then it means that they're probably going to be spending less in the meantime. But I was just saying to my friend on the weekend that I find it just perplexing that there's not even a rough time frame that they give us around when we can expect the new launch. And again, it doesn't build any hype or buzz, you know? But I think what Sorare is literally going to do is I think they're literally going to drop the new cards into the game and then at the same time say, guys, we've got the new MLS cards, go and start scouting for them. And it would just be like dropped out of the blue. And I feel like they miss so much opportunity to bring new people into the game by trying to build up a buzz of get ready for the new MLS cards. They're coming in X, Y, and Z. And they could start to do some promotions, you know, like before the launch, you know, running up to the launch. They could build it up to be a big thing, but they don't. They almost just slip it under the radar. And, you know, you could just be playing Sorare normally, like now. We could be kind of like, let's log this out now. We could be playing Sorare and then all of a sudden someone could say the new MLS cards are out. We'd be like, wow, like, where's that come from, you know? We know they're coming. We just don't know when, roughly. I just don't understand why Sorare don't do that. Yeah, there's so many things that they don't do, which is so frustrating. And I think that's one of them. Because my friend said to me that the whole reason why we're talking about that is because my friend said, like, he was interested in getting involved in Sorare because he's quite into the MLS, right? He said, like, when are the MLS cards coming? Like, do I have enough time to get in and, like, to get them? And I said, honestly, I don't know when they're coming, man. I said, they're coming, but I can't tell you when they're coming. And he said, like, why do you not know at all? And I said, it's just the way Sorare is, fortunately. It would have been nice to say, yeah, look, you've got a couple of weeks, you've got a week until they're landing. So get involved now, start kind of doing some scouting, get ready for the new drop. But just a little bit frustrating to say they're coming, but I don't know when. But anyways, I think he's going to get involved anyway, but just doesn't help to sell the game. All right, let's put this in here. I'm pretty sure that Sorare are going to be adding something or announcing something today. Because I don't think we're being logged out for no reason. I think it's because they are doing things in the background. Potentially, is it the MLS cards coming today? Who knows, right? Could be. But yeah. All right. Let's start looking at the midweek. Hold on a second, guys. Let me just try and get up a bit more of the chat. Okay. Let's start looking at the midweek game week, which is game week 454 on Sorare. So the game week starts tomorrow. And there's quite a lot of games which are happening. You can see that tomorrow we've got a mix of the Serie B, the Scottish Premiership, the Colombian Primera R. The Libertadores is happening along with the CONCACAF Champions League. Then we've got a mix of, again, Libertadores, CONCACAF Champions League, Liga MX. There's a lot of America happening, actually. America, Serie B, and Premiership, it looks like. And then look, yeah. There's an odd Peruvian game thrown in there as well. And then on Friday, there are a handful of K-League, J-League, and Chinese Super League games as well. So there's quite a lot of opportunities to put some teams out for the midweek. Who is putting together a team for the midweek? And if you do have a team for the midweek, what is it? And what is the competition that you're going to be targeting? Hello also to Pangelino as well. How you doing, man? No surprise for you, Twitch Gaming. It's a bit of a shame for you, isn't it, Twitch Gaming? Because, you know, there's not really a free to play for these midweeks, right? You can't put a team out either, Arthur. Really? I thought you might be able to put a team out for it. I mean, I think you could certainly put out some really cheap teams for the midweek because there are enough teams that are playing that have players that don't cost a lot. I think it's just a case of if you had any gaps in your teams, and this would probably be a good opportunity to fill them, especially that there's a lot of America players, right? So filling, say, if you've got like a team of three and you're missing two players, this would probably be a good opportunity to go and pick up two players if they're American players, because then they can serve you well for the rest of the year, right? FIFA Mino, I have a few Kilmarnock rares, so low expectations in Cap 240. Okay, cool. Do you don't have a full team of five then, I'm guessing? And hello to a Nathabam as well. How's it going, man? Whilst we're talking about teams, I will just show you the teams that I have quickly for Game Week 454. I have two teams in rare, but one team is completely throwaway, and it's actually the Cap 240 rare. We're not going to hit threshold, but we're just putting a team together for it because we have four players that have a game. Funnily enough, this Adam Lafondra is a card that was gifted to me by one of you guys. I think it was it Senub68? I don't actually remember who sent me the card. Let's have a quick reminder. But this card was gifted to me so I can give it out. We haven't done a giveaway yet. It's just there he is there. Let's have a little look. Yeah, it was. Look, Senub68. So again, a big shout out to Senub68. This is a card that I want to give away. So the next time we have a giveaway time, I'll actually probably be throwing in Adam Lafondra. And we also need to throw in Ryan Porteous as well, because he was the Go Shopping, this one here, from 10 days ago. God, we haven't had a giveaway time activated in 10 days, guys. What's going on? What is going on? Oh, you do have a full team, but because they're playing Rangers, you're not really expecting much. Yeah, fair enough. It's not really the fixture you'd expect them to do well in, is it? The fact you can put a full team out, though, is pretty good for the midweek, especially in rare. We can't. As you can see, we don't have a starting goalkeeper. Got Stefan Garteman. But I mean, look, Randall Leal's injured. Brent Cowman's injured. Well, he's not injured, actually. He's just not playing. And then Adam Lafondra is technically a card that we could be giving away even before the game week starts tomorrow. So this is throwaway. This isn't going to do anything. We're just going to see if we can maybe sneak 130 points, which would then give us 100 Sorare coins, and that'd be great. I don't even think the team can realistically do that. And then we've got a proper team in Cap 220 Rare, where we are going to be trying to win a card here. And this is actually pretty good. We have Guzman as part of the new Tigres collection that I picked up last week. He's going to be our goalie here. He's got a very, very good fixture, which I'm sure we'll talk about when we look at the game week. Morales didn't score that good on the weekend, but I'm going to keep the faith with him and still give him the captaincy. He's got a home game. He's usually very good at home. Pereira is not covered, but he's not fully covered, but he has I think it's a Libertadores game. So he done very well in the last one. Frank Bolly's almost just to fill the numbers in here. He's a sub player, so if he can give us 25 points, I'll actually be happy with that. We're not expecting anything more from him. And then Andrew Farrell picked up on Friday. So we have a good defender, a cheap defender as well, that can come in with a good fixture and hopefully hit a monster score that will help this team to get a card in Cap 220 Rare. the top place only gets a tier 2 rare. But even if we got a tier 5 rare from the midweek, I'd be very happy just getting a tier 5 here. Yeah. So that's the team that we're looking at for cap 240, cap 220. And then we have a very similar team in cap 220 limited, where we have Morales. We've got Quinn Sullivan in at the moment, although I might switch Sullivan. I don't know. He's starting at the moment and he's doing okay. He's also got a pretty decent fixture at home. And Ozil Herrera is doing very good. He's in as well with Gignac. The problem here is that Andre Blake is injured and he might not play this midweek. He might not play. And so what I might have to do is I might have to switch out Andre Blake. And the problem with that is that the MLS Amateur is not open. And I'm starting to doubt whether it's actually going to be open or not. Now, we can make a switch with a common goalkeeper from a European, one of these 5 European leagues, right? But because, as I just showed you guys, there's a lot of games which are happening in America, ideally, I almost wanted to have the ability to, for example, bring in Pedro Galice, right, for Orlando City, because he has a really nice home game against this team here called Cavalry, who are really not that strong. And being able to bring in, look, Pedro Galice is a AAA rating. He would be amazing, but we can't switch him in because there's no MLS Amateur for us to be able to make a swap on. And I don't know whether they're going to open an MLS Amateur, because what usually happens is that you can access the amateurs when the cards are available, right? But at the moment, the MLS cards are kind of not available because they're looking to launch the new ones. And then if they launch the new ones on the market, in theory, the MLS Amateur should be available again. I just don't know whether they're gonna open an amateur for the MLS for like potentially 3 weeks just to then close it down. I don't know whether they're going to do that. They might just feel like it's not worth doing that. But maybe they'll also think, well, it's 3 weeks of utility. But you know what I mean? Like, almost what's the point in launching new cards and then getting people to draft for the MLS Amateur again just for the sake of 3 weeks, right? So I don't know whether the MLS Amateur is actually going to open. I wouldn't expect it to, for that basis that you're going to open it for 3 weeks or so, and then it's just going to be removed entirely from the game. So what we're going to have to maybe figure out is that if, let's go back to it. Where is it? Did we just lose it? Yeah, we did. So if basically Andre Blake is not fit, if he's not expected to start, then we're going to have to switch somebody else in. Now, to be fair, we do actually have already another goalkeeper. We've got Andrea Consigli, but I don't want to play Consigli. Look, his L5 is shocking, and he's got Napoli at home, which is just horrible. So, yeah, hopefully over the course of the stream, we can maybe think about other goalkeepers that we could switch in. But I think it's going to be pretty difficult, but we'll run through it. Right. Let's look at some games here. Let's start off by looking at the Game Week Center. So, look, Nashville have a very, very good fixture at home against Mocha. They're really not strong at all. Someone like Joe Willis, if you've got Joe Willis, amazing. So, Worcester Mania has Joe Willis. I'm actually kind of jealous because I would love to be able to have him for this fixture. They have a huge percentage for a clean sheet, a huge percentage for a win. If we could switch in Joe Willis, then we probably would, but we can't. It's gone back. Cincinnati also have quite a favourable fixture. Celtic do too. You can see, look, there's Orlando City. New England. Another reason we brought in Farrell is because he has a very good chance for a high score here. And look, the Tigres boys, so the collection that I just started to build, they have a very good fixture. They're placed really high up here. So I kind of want to try and run like a full Tigres stack if I can, because they have a high percentage for a clean sheet, high percentage for a win. Yeah, I agree. It almost doesn't make sense, does it, to open the MLS Amateur? Who thinks they are going to open the MLS Amateur? I personally don't think they are. I don't think they're going to open it, because you would basically say to everyone, here's the new cards, go and draft for the MLS new season. But then in 3 weeks' time, it's going to be deleted from the game. It just seems a bit like, what's the point? Who does think it's going to be open, though? Hello to Paolo Hora, going with the heart stack in Challenger to avoid those America matchups. Yeah, the America matchups are horrible, aren't they? Probably quite smart, actually, of you to go into Challenger there, to be honest with you. I'll be back in a second. 1 second, guys. I'm going to go on a quick break here, 2 minutes, and then I'll be back. All right. So, yeah, I think probably a really good team to target would of course be Nashville for the midweek. Now, I'd actually like to know what the experts thinking for the lineup here, if it's available. It's not available at the moment. Okay. What's the deal with Hani Mukhtar? Oh, he's got an injury. Okay. Because he played this game, didn't he? Oh, he played 35 minutes and he got injured in that game. Ah, fair enough. Look at Hani Mukhtar. He's only £22. £22 and is limited, which is very good, I think, for Mukhtar. Given that he's at the start of his season and he's like a monster scorer in the game. But yeah, if Mukhtar's out, it's a bit of an issue. But to be fair, it's such an easy game for them that even if they don't play Mukhtar, so he played Boyd, Bunbury, Schaffelberg. The interesting thing with Nashville is that when I look at this team here, I'm not really bowled over by the team. You know, like I don't look at this team and think this is really strong. I don't think it is actually. I really don't rate Yearwood. Davis is not great. Moyles not that good. I'm not a big fan of Boyd or Bunbury or Schaffelberg. I mean, I don't know whether they're actually going to do that well this season, Nashville, because, you know, their team just really doesn't look that strong at all. They said that Mukhtar might be back as soon as Wednesday for the game. Well, that would be great if he was back. I don't think they necessarily need him, though. That's the thing. So even though the coach is saying that, I don't think that they need Mukhtar back for that game. Because I think the other players that they've got should be more than good enough to get a win against them. Look, I mean, they beat them 3-0 before. And I know that Mukhtar had a hand in 2 or 3 of the goals there, but they technically don't need Mukhtar back. They almost need to give him more time to recover for this game. So if you have a Nashville stack, then I really wouldn't bank on Mukhtar playing. And even if he does play, I wouldn't be surprised if they leave him on the bench as an option to come on if things are really not going their way. But they don't need to play him at all. It's just very difficult when you look at the team to think about others that you would like consider. I mean, Mayo, as I mentioned, is okay. McNaughton's okay. Willis is good. But up front, like Boyd here, Tyler Boyd, doesn't do it for me, really. Got to be honest with you. I mean, he's got some good levels of scoring, though, isn't he? For LA Galaxy, anyway. In theory, he should be able to score very well against Mocha on Wednesday. In theory. I mean, he scored 92.4 in the away game, the reverse leg. So he's technically one that's really good, isn't he? For this week. Yeah, I agree. I don't think that Mukhtar needs to be played against this opponent in the week, even though it's a great game. But someone like Tyler Boyd, even though I'm not his greatest fan, I think, you know, you have to say that if there's anyone from Nashville that has the potential to explode, it's probably going to be him home against his opponent. What do you guys reckon? Who's the player to target? Do you think from Nashville against Mocha? Because I think that this is a brilliant fixture. But who would you say is worth targeting? Yeah, Mayer, even Willis, sure. Yeah. What about some other guys here in the chat, though? I love that we've got Twitch Gaming in the chat. Lively. I would like a bit more involvement from everyone else, though, if we can. Just because I'd love to be able to get different viewpoints, different opinions. But like, it's great that we've got, we've got loads in here, but we don't have enough going on in the chat. I know, yeah. That's why I'm kind of like I'm holding the stream up here. I'm just saying like, where is everyone else? Because I can see you're putting a lot of input in Twitch gaming. It's appreciated, but this is the whole point of these streams: is that it should be a case where we can talk things through back and forth, right? Um, if I just wanted to talk to Twitch gaming, then I could just give them a call, right? And then we just have a one-on-one call. But it's supposed to be a bit of a community thing, so I just want to know like what everyone else thinks here in this particular fixture, which is considered to be at the moment one of the best looking fixtures for the midweek based off the stats here. What players would you necessarily target, and what players do you think here from Nashville would represent good value in the midweek? It's because I was not there. Hello to Twisted Fortune. How you doing, man? How's it going? How was your weekend on Sorare, Twisted? And also Marvel Snap, because I know you're playing a lot of Marvel Snap as well now. How much is more? Shaq more. £2.49. You reckon Schaffelberg, yeah? Let's have a little look, Arthur. He's quite young still, isn't he, Jacob Schaffelberg? He's got one of those haircuts that's like, he's got like a bit of a mullet style haircut going on. He looks very American based on his haircut. Like a dirty South haircut. He's got a really, the thing is with Schaffelberg is that he has the potential to hit really big. And his decisive scoring is really okay, actually. But he's just been a little bit inconsistent, hasn't he? Because he never really gets a good run in the team. But that's probably quite a good shout from Arthur there, that this type of player, at only £2.90, could have a big impact if he starts, right? No, unfortunately, Mukhtar isn't an option. Well, Mukhtar is potentially an option, but Mukhtar's kind of injured at the moment. So maybe Mukhtar's going to be ready for this week, but then they technically don't need to risk him in this game. So I would kind of say that he's out. Yeah, he's probably out. McNaughton looks decent to me. Very solid AA for 150. I agree. Hello to Scuzz TV. I was hoping that somebody would say McNaughton because I really like him. I think he's good. His AA here in the last 15 is 19. And he's just a defender that likes to get stuck in. The slight concern I have with him is that because I'm expecting Nashville to kind of dominate, like they'll dominate in possession and they'll dominate in the attacking phases. I don't know whether he's really going to get enough to do defensively, but then his possession stats are very good. So if he can get a bit more involved in possession, then he'll still be able to hit like a really good AA. But this guy here for £1.69 is incredible, I think. If you actually look at this guy, in the kind of the starts that he's had, you take it off to the starts he's had, right? It's a little bit underwhelming. So he's had 44 starts for all teams here, but if we focus on Nashville, it gets a little bit better. He's had 22 starts for Nashville, but his AA is 15.3, okay, which is good. It's pretty healthy. He hasn't really hit many scores in this 70-point range and above. Only actually hit one. But when you look at how he scores in his AA, he's very consistently getting scores of like 25 and above. Look, 26 here, 25, 26, 21, 23, 30, 31, 21, 29. Really, really good. Really good. So I agree with Scud. I think this is a good option to look at for this week. Everton have had their 10-point deduction for breaching profitability and sustainability rules reduced to 6. Wow. I mean, good. That's great news for them. I have to be honest with you, I thought the 10-point deduction was a little bit harsh because they've never done that before in the Premier League. They will be loving that, the Everton fans, because they have really rallied to try and get that reduced down as well. So yeah, gives them a lot more hope to avoid relegation, which they should be able to do, to be honest with you. Is there a specific reason why you want to target this game? Well, we're starting off talking about this game because this game on paper is actually very, very attractive. They're going up against a team that are really not that good. They hammered them 3-0 in the first leg. At home, you should try and target MLS players because they tend to do very good at home. And they have both a really good chance to keep a clean sheet and to score lots of goals here, which is one of the reasons why they are kind of top of this this matchups tab. So that's kind of why we're talking about them. There are also a lot of players that are very cheap for them. Okay, so you could technically build a Nashville team if you wanted to for this midweek. That wouldn't. In fact, you know what? I'd actually like to do it. I'd be very interested to see how much it would cost to do. Let's do it quickly. Concepts beta. Let's do All Star. Okay, so if we done Joe Willis here, right? So Joe Willis on the market on floor is £16. Then if we done McNaughton, oh, hello. Oh, Mac Norton. There we go, £1.69. Right now, the midfielder is a little bit of a problem because ideally we would like to put Hani Mukhtar in. Not really a big fan of their midfielders. Like I have one midfielder myself, but he's injured, and it's Randall Leal. And then the other midfielder that, of course, we all know is Hani Mukhtar. Drew Yearwood's not that great. Technically, he should do better against this type of opponent. He's also only 24. I think if Nashville don't play the likes of Leal and Mukhtar, then I do start to worry where their creativity is going to come from. Probably I would pick Drew Yearwood here just because of the fact that he's someone that should do well, but he's not really the type of player that I think is very good. And I don't really rate this guy either. Alex Moyle. Yeah, Moyle's cheap. He is cheap, though. This is the thing. When you try and put together like a Nashville team, I'm not really bowled over by their midfielders apart from Mukhtar and Leal. Probably I would just put in Yearwood. You could put in Moyle here if you wanted to. Godoy is 72p. It's probably a better option, isn't he, to be fair? Just because you know you're going to be getting some level of good mid-range with the potential for high-end. So it could be this guy that we put in, I guess, for 72p. Probably a little bit better than Drew Yearwood. A bit more reliable, but not that great, I think. Storage won't be out as long as feared. Hey, Mukhtar may be back as soon as Wednesday. Yeah, Twitch Gaming was mentioning that. I think even if Mukhtar is available, I don't think they're going to play him. I don't think they're going to play him. There's no need to play him against this opponent. I don't even think he even needs to be on the bench, to be perfectly honest with you. But, you know, they've got the option. And then, yeah, we've got Bunbury, Schaffelberg, Surridge. I mean, if Surridge was available for this Wednesday, then I could imagine that Surridge would then play over Mukhtar. But yeah, I don't know. From the sounds of it, it doesn't even sound like Surridge is going to be available. So probably what we would do here instead is like Tyler Boyd. So I'd put Tyler Boyd in like that for £12.80. And then we would put in Jack Mayer as the extra. So look, there you go. That's probably the type of team that I would put together with Tyler Boyd as the captain against the next opponent. That's probably the type of team that I would put together if I was going to build a Nashville stack for this midweek. And at the moment, based on the floor, it's £34.52. It's not too bad, but also it's kind of a little bit expensive, no? I mean, pretty much most of that cost is coming from two players of Willis and then Tyler Boyd. And then the other three are you could basically pick up for about £5. Hello to League, man. How you doing, man? For the midweek, yeah. We're just looking at the midweek and we're trying to figure out and look at the potential for where the best scoring could happen. We're talking about Nashville, how they're going up against Mocha. I think they're like a Honduran team, though. Let's quickly bring them up. Now, look, they're not even a Honduran team. They're a Dominican Republic team. So they're like a proper minnow team. And they should get absolutely destroyed. I mean, Nashville technically don't need to go full pelt on them because they have a really good aggregate lead from the first leg. But you would expect Nashville to just finish them off. Probably finish them off in the first half. One thing I noticed, where's the guy who's this massive Wellbat fan? Yeah. Yeah, I know who you mean. Yeah. Let's see. RSK. RSK returns, yeah. Yeah, I haven't seen him either, RSK returns. I don't know where he is. Hope he's okay. We haven't seen him in a while. Is it not risky to go there since they won 3-0 in the first leg? I don't think so, to be honest with you. I don't think so. I mean, I get your point. I think you make a good point there. Are they really going to go super hard? As they've got that really nice, comfortable lead. I think that they should still hit this game hard. Because if you think about it, if I was the manager and if I was the players, I'd be thinking, right, we've got this good lead, but let's just try and win it the whole tie in the first leg. So I'd expect the first half, sorry, to be pretty intense, where they try and get a couple of goals in the first half and then they could ease off in the second half. But I still wouldn't expect the Dominican Republic to score against them. And I think that this is a stack that could still do very well. Maybe not exactly this team, but you know what I mean? Like, I think this is a team that could do very well still. Yeah, he's RSK return, so he'll return. All right. Let's go through a couple of other games as well. Serie B, I'm skipping entirely. I really don't think the Serie B is the type of league to be focusing on. Ross County, St. Mirren, not really. This one's a skip. This one's also a skip because there's not really any players at all. There's like two players that have cards for this this game. This is really good. Orlando City versus Cavalry. This is a really good fixture, I think, to target. Now, if we look at Orlando City, Serie B is really dodgy, yeah. Really dodgy. If you look at Orlando here, they beat Cavalry also 3-0 from the first leg. So they've got like 1 foot into the next round, and they just need to make sure that they don't lose 3-0 here. So I think that, again, they'll probably be motivated to try and get the job done pretty early on. And Cavalry, again, are such a weak team. I don't know where they're actually from. So a quick gander. Canada. Canada's Premier League or Premier League. Very poor team. So Orlando would be another good one to target. There's a couple of players in here that are really good. I don't think they're too expensive either. Got Maguire, £11.59. Hit quite a good score against Cavalry, 61. You've also got Martin Ojeda. Really like this guy. I probably should have picked up his rare when he was hovering around the £10 mark or so, no? Yeah, look. A couple of days ago, someone got it for £13.56. I'm very jealous of that because I'm a big fan of this guy. He wasn't really starting enough last season. He's not really been starting enough so far, but he started in this game here. He's done very well. They are a poor team, man. They're a poor team considering Orlando. So it's about mismatches here. This is a big mismatch. And the reason why I call them a poor team is because this team, compared to Orlando, is a poor team. It's all very well to say they dominated in the Canadian Championship. Who cares? The Canadian Championship is like completely different level. We're talking about an MLS team, and we're talking about a Canadian Championship team or whatever, right? The two are completely different. So they could dominate all they want. They are so far away from Orlando City standard that that's why we consider them a poor team. And the fact that they lost 3-0 in the first leg shows you that this is the type of game that on paper is great because they have a home game now. They're much better at home, Orlando. And they have a home game against a team that really are not even anywhere near their level whatsoever. Okay? Which players do you think are worth targeting here, guys? Which players do you think? Maybe we can have a little look on Play Sharper as well. There we go. There is actually a lineup from the expert. Hello to Rude as well, man. How you doing? Okay, cool. So you can see here that, yeah, there is a little bit of rotation that's happening. Galise stays in there. We've got Halliday in there. Schlegel, Brecalo. Oh, interesting. Cartagena, Ojeda, Lynn, Enrique. So it doesn't look like Duncan Maguire is really going to get a look in. Yeah, I see him rested, but he is not 0%. Even Facundo Torres here. Could be some more. Look at this guy here. Look. Enrique has an L15 of 34, but he's projected at 75% to start. This could be an interesting one. Enrique, no? Let's go back onto Orlando here. Yeah, this guy could be an interesting option if he starts. Doesn't start very often. How much is he? Oh, he's £2.91. That's so high. You're basically paying for an under 23 utility player here rather than anyone who can because his scoring's good, right? Look, if you look at when he played for Banfield, his scoring was actually pretty good, given that he didn't start a lot. I do think that this guy has got potential. I don't think I would personally would pay £2. Well, he's actually £4.35 on the market. Just far too much, really, for a player that may come in and start this week, but then he's going to be on the bench for most of the season, as he was pretty much all last season as well. A little bit expensive. Yeah, but he's the type of low L15 player that has a chance now, has the potential to do really well. Yeah, it really is the midweek tax too, isn't it? Yeah. We look at his limited, you can see that his price is now really shooting up, seeing as he's projected to start. Kind of the time to pick him up was probably around here, wasn't it? It was about £1 or so. Ojeda and Angelo for me personally. It's Twitch Gaming. Yeah, I agree. I'm not a huge fan of Angelo, but I'm a massive fan of Ojeda. I used to have a rare of Schlegel as well, but I sold him a long time ago. Like he used to have that scoring, and he does have that scoring right now to help for threshold. But I think this is the type of player where in the new format he's not really going to be that good. If you look at his level of scoring, there in the new format, he's just going to be pretty crap. Had Martins last year, thinking he'd get better. He never does. No, he doesn't. Philippe Martins, yeah. I also had Philippe Martins for a little bit. But God, Ladero's brilliant. If Ladero was ever expected to start, then he would have been great, but he's not going to be starting, I think. He would have been a good one, though. But yeah, Philippe Martins, he never gets good, does he? I think I had his limited a long time ago. Have a quick look. Yeah, look. I had his limited, and I got rid of it. I think I only really brought him in for like one game week. His level of scoring is absolutely trash, isn't it? So bad. Not really sure why he's still at Orlando, to be honest with you. So yeah, I think Orlando's a good game to target for the midweek. You do have to navigate a little bit of rotation. But I think, again, there's some players in that team that will play and they're quite cheap. They have the potential to score really high. A lot of them will have low L15s as well. I think it's a good fixture to target if you are trying to take the midweek a little bit seriously. Yeah, with the new format, I really try to not buy players for one game week, only if I see potential for that after as well. I agree, yeah. Like in the current format, you've been able to get away with buying players for like specific game weeks and then trying to shift them out afterwards. But I think in the new format, it'll be a lot more about just buying players for the long term rather than just buying players for the short term. And to be honest, as well, we've seen managers that have been trying to bring in players for the short term in the current format. They've ended up getting stung because they've brought in players for the short term for like 1 or 2 game weeks, but then they can't shift them out quickly enough. And then by the time they want to try and shift them out, and they can shift them out, their value has dropped so much that it almost didn't really make sense to bring them in for a short time. What game should we cover on Wednesday, guys? What's the next game you think is worth us looking at and talking about? Because there's quite a few. We've got some Syria R in here as well. Union, says Wistomania. Good pick, man. Good pick. Yeah. So Deportivo Saprissa are not too bad. But this is a good fixture for Philadelphia Union. It really is. They had a little bit of a mare, especially Glesnes and Andre Blake. They had a little bit of a mare in the first leg. So if you haven't seen the goal which they conceded, then type in Andre Blake Glesnes goal or own goal, and you'll then be able to see it. I think, can't remember the exact score. Let's have a quick look at it. Yeah. So the score was 3-2 from the first leg. So it was a lot closer than I thought it would be. They're not too bad, Saprissa. They're not too bad, but Philadelphia should beat them. They should beat them at home. There was a really good performance from Carranza in this game. So Carranza, I think he scored, what was it, a hat trick? Yeah, he scored a hat trick in that game, which was incredible. He doesn't do that so often, of course not, but we know he's very, very good. And I would expect him again to be the big threat for Philadelphia on in the midweek. So he's really good. He's expensive, though. Look, he's 27, 28 in the limited. There are a couple of other players that are really good too. So we've got Ura, Quinn Sullivan. Sullivan is actually getting a lot more game time now. And of course, you guys saw that I'm playing him in my lineup for the midweek. I've been waiting on him for a while, just hoping that he would get a little bit more game time. He is now. Pretty good player. Harriel's in there. Very good. Gaztag, of course. How much is Gaztag? Gaztag's like less than £20 now. Wow. This guy used to be a star in Champion America. Used to be a star player. It's going to be interesting to see where he is placed. He's in the last one. Well, tier 1 in the limited prize pool. He was a tier 1, but he used to be a star, and he's fantastic. So I think this is probably a very, very good time to be picking up him. But keep in mind that the new MLS cards are being released soon, aren't they? You want to build an Orlando team, but not sure because the first match day was really weird. I saw a lot of bad teams play good. Orlando I like, though. I think Orlando, out of one of the MLS teams, is a good one to build for. They have a lot of youngsters. They play good attacking football. They have a goalkeeper that is also an international. You get some good utility from him as well. I like Orlando a lot. They're almost like my team that I secretly support from the MLS, them and Cincinnati. Kai Wagner just doesn't know how to do a bad score, does he? So incredible, this player. I'm a little bit surprised that he's £50 in his limited, though. Okay, he's been climbing. Look. He's been climbing. So, yeah, he was about £30, at the start of this month. And then when there was a lot of uncertainty whether he was going to sign or not, another contract with Philly, or whether he was going to move, he was actually down to around, £10. That was really the time to pick up a Kai Wagner, wasn't it? Wow. If you wanted to pick him up. That was in limited. In rare, if we go back, wow, so in rare, he hit £70. He's now £300. Incredible. That's definitely the type of player where when you see that, even I'm having a little bit of regret that I didn't pick him up around this point. Because he's just a very, very good player. And again, it's that whole strategy of just trying to invest in good players, because if you do that, it's very difficult for you to be on the losing end. Yeah. I'm waiting for the new season cards too. I'm not going to be buying the new season MLS cards though. I'm going to be trying to compete for them in a classic format so I can then win them, hopefully. Yeah, it was when it was $11 in limited. I think even here, look, getting for 70 or 80 pounds in rare when he's now 300, that was a big opportunity, huge one. And potentially he's going to go even higher when Sorare launched the new MLS cards, right? Ah, Twisted Fortune. Thank you so much, man, for jumping on your lunch break. I really appreciate it. Yeah, thank you. Hope to see you a little bit later on, man. Thank you for making the time to jump in and say hello. Do you want to take a look at my gallery and tell me if it's ready for the next classic gameplay? I'm happy to do that, but you need to do a review my gallery, which is a benefit you need to claim on the channel, Hero, here on Twitch. That's a question from Darkside over on YouTube. Keep in mind, guys, there's a question mark about whether Andre Blake is going to be available to play this Wednesday. So I have him in my lineup at the moment, but I might need to switch him out. Yeah, this is a very good price for Michael Ura. £7.25 and the limited is very, very good. Potentially it's increasing as well, isn't it? Yeah. So somebody bought him as an instant buy today for £11.23. But Michael Ura is a designated player. Look, there's only one. This is a really good price. So yeah, if you're thinking about getting involved in this game, Michael Ura is a brilliant player for Philadelphia, and he scores a lots of goals. He scores tons of goals, loads of decisives. There's only one card for him at the moment on the market for less than £8, and it's this one here, which is technically a better card to pick up than these ones because it's a level 9. You're getting 4.5%, whereas these ones are getting 6.5%, but 5% of that is the new season, or the in-season bonus, if you want to call that. This one here is not bad. That's going to be 5.5. I have a question about the MLS, says Ligma. Do you think it will remain a league of many goals, so not many clean sheets, or do you think that there could be a slight shift that could mean more clean sheets? I think it's going to remain a league of many goals, yeah. Yeah, I think everyone should be buying Hector Herrera too, or they should at least be looking at Hector Herrera. And Free to Scout, won't the new season cards be so expensive that the old season cards just rise and be a little bit behind? So the new season cards will be released, right? And then they will massively increase the prices of the MLS players, okay? And then the old cards, the classic cards, will then have their floors increased too, but they will still be cheaper. So I think that the classic cards will probably increase in value a little bit, but they won't be super high for too long. Yeah. Is he really 15 at the moment? That's incredible if he is, you know. I mean, I say it's incredible. It probably isn't because, you know, he's probably going to be like £5 or something. The way the pricing goes on Sorare. Yeah, this guy is really good. I didn't realize he was £15. He is, look. He's knocking on a bit now in age. He's 33, but he's still such an amazing scorer. Yeah, I made I made the screen a little bit smaller. Yeah, it's fine. I wanted to do it. I wanted just to chat a little bit more. I tend to put it on that screen when I just want to chat a bit more with the chat. The Smeen, yeah. So this would be a good fixture. This would be a good game to target, I think, the Philadelphia one. Yeah. No, I disagree with you on that one, Pirek. I don't think that's true at all. You don't need to buy a Hector Herrera to be competitive. Like, that's not the only way to be competitive after the update. So don't agree with that, man. You don't. I don't have this guy, and I'm not freaking out thinking, okay, I'm not going to be competitive after the update. I've got lots of other players that can deliver good scoring like this. So and there's tons more, right? So he is a good player. He will make you more competitive, but this is like the type of player that's not the be all or end all. Now, if you don't have this player, you can still compete after the update. Yeah. Alexander Alvarado. Yeah, so Alexander Alvarado, I think is incredible. I nearly bought his rare a few months back because I was buying. Let's bring him up here. Let's bring him up. So I bought a lot of Quito players. So I brought in Dominguez, the goalkeeper. I've got Quintero, the defender. I've got Piovi as the midfielder. I also wanted to bring in Alvarado because I think he's great. He's actually really cheap now. When I was looking at him, a few, well, a few weeks ago, maybe a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, he was around 60, £70, and I didn't want to pay that, which is why I didn't pay it. And I ended up buying Piovi instead. But this is a guy that I like a lot, and his level of scoring is insane when he starts. So, brilliant player. We have to see if he's going to get more game time this season. I think he was really unlucky last season because he didn't really do anything wrong. He was playing very, very well, but then they just started to mix it up, and then he kind of almost lost his place towards the end of the season. Hello to FBL Thinker as well. How you doing, FBL? If everyone buys the same player, is that really being competitive? You know, the danger with that league is that if everyone is buying the same player, then actually what you create is you create a too competitive game that is not fun. And this is exactly what's Rare done, which is why they've had to completely overhaul the way that the game is going to go. Because if you think about it, if everybody can afford a Messi, then you're going to have too many people playing Messi. If everybody can afford like a Mbappe or whatnot, like if the values of cards keep coming down, then everybody can afford the best players. And then actually what it means is that everyone's got these amazing players that actually aren't really that amazing in SO5 because everyone else has them. So then they're not differentials for you, right? And this was the problem. And this is technically still the problem today, is that those players that should be star players that give you the differential and that you pay a little bit more for them so that, you know, you've got that really top scorer is not really that great a scorer because everybody else has him and can score just as well as you. So, yeah, exactly. Yeah. And this is actually something that technically shouldn't really be happening to the extent that it has been happening in the game, because the difference, of course, between FPL and Sorare, there's a load of differences, right? But the main difference really is that In FPL, everyone can have any player as long as they can afford them in a budget, right? Whereas on Sorare, technically not everybody can have the same player, because first of all, you need to be able to afford them, right? And then second of all, there's only a finite amount of them in the game. But what Sorare done was that they minted a load of these incredible players so that we know the supply has been too big. And then that supply has meant that more and more could afford to buy that top end player, so that there are then more and more teams that are just running ridiculously good scorers. And so then your budget players, or your players that maybe can't score as high consistently, are then devaluing even quicker, because everyone can afford, if you can spend £2 on like a player that will hit you scores of 80, 90 every now and then, but then you can just spend, say, £10 on getting a player that can hit you 80, 90 pretty much every game week. You're going to do that, right? But that's the thing. Technically, those players shouldn't really be available at that price point, but they've been driven down to that price point. Do you think with how cheap limiteds are now, you can make a decent Capsule 20 team with like 5 to 10 quid? I reckon you can make it, yeah, for £5, definitely. Probably less than that as well. And the rares have become so cheap now too, that the rare, if you don't know this, rares are basically the new limiteds now. Rares are basically the new limiteds. Like, there's a few exceptions, but with the game where it is right now, like, we're seeing that you can have starting rare goalkeepers for £40. That's where limited was about a year and a half ago. So if you haven't realized, rares are now the new limiteds, and because the threshold has significantly reduced as well, that's had a bit of a knock-on effect with the values on the cards. What's the highest you would spend right now on a rare? Not a goalkeeper. It's a good question, actually, Ligma. I don't tend to spend more than 30 on any rare player. So probably would be about 30. I might be tempted to go up to like 40, possibly 50, depending on the player, but no more than 50. And that would have to be an absolute exception. So it would have to be like a player that I just thought was too good to pass up, or maybe it's been a player that I really, I'm a big fan of, and I just have to have them. But most of the time, I will be spending less than 30, and to be honest with you, most of the time, less than 20. Yeah. Like, if you look at my gallery as well, go to my gallery just really quickly. What you'll see, if we take a lot of the goalkeepers out of the equation, what you'll see is that a lot of my purchases for rare cards have been around 30 and below. Talking about exceptions, Peter Musa was one of those exceptions where you guys might remember that I bought him live on the stream for about £45. And then about 2.5 weeks later, he then got his move, and he's now selling for over £100. So I knew that was going to pay off, which is why I'd done it. I was prepared to pay a bit more than the 30. But then, for example, Gonzalo Tapia. So Tapia, I wanted to get him for under 30, but I couldn't quite do it. So we ended up paying a little bit more, but it's still not too bad. And then like Biaki, for example, picked up Biaki for about £20. So look, yeah, cash sent, I sent £19.41. So I'm always on the hunt, and I'm always looking for, look here, Smolcic, £20, okay? Jose Quintero, £19.50. Juan Lucero, I think I got him for around just over 20. So when I'm scouting for players in rare, I'm not aiming to spend more than 20. And there's a reason for that, is that I don't think you need to spend more than 20 to get really good players, good scorers in the game. I think if you spend around 20 or less, then you've got less exposure to like price volatilities as well. Because it's rare that um, like good players in rare will go less than 20. And if they go less than 20, they'll kind of go a little bit less than 20, but not like significantly lower. So that's kind of the reason why I've been doing it. I mean, you guys know that I picked up Pinares, right? For £12.45 last week. I think this is fantastic value. So Musa hasn't played because he doesn't have his visa and his paperwork yet, but he will have it soon. Having bought a rare goalkeeper to be in rare for August, I'm actually going to use those and some cheap rares to grind threshold. Even at £15, some mad value there. I agree, Scuds, big time. I really do. Something that I still find myself having to justify and explain, and it's almost driven me a bit bonkers that I don't understand why some managers don't get like some of the rationale to picking up players. Is, you know, Eli Room, for example. I still get people saying, why have I bought Eli Room for £45 when he's playing for a team that's bottom of the league, potentially facing relegation? He might be going to the second division, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, it comes back to what Scuzz TV just said, you know, about with the values of some of these cards at the moment, and even with the threshold being reduced, you can still make a very good return on these players before the end of the season and before players potentially lose coverage or kind of like they move clubs or whatnot. So that's one of the reasons why I always try and pick up players for as cheap as possible. Because if you can buy the players, good players, for as cheap as you can, then that's the way to do it, right? Because then you've got a player that can then deliver you fantastic ROI. And then you've got a player who, even if his price does go down, it shouldn't go down too much that it's going to make you regret spending the £20, whatever. Because if you think about it, guys, look, if let's take João Lucero. So João Lucero, I bought him for £23, right? And I bought him for £23 a month ago. He's currently at £17 or so. So he's gone down since I bought him, but he hasn't gone down significantly that is making my hair go grey. You know? If I bought him for like £100 and he was now £17, then of course I'm going to be like, fuck. Like, he's lost so much of his value. I've lost so much of my money. But if you just buy good players for cheap, it's very difficult for you to lose out on them, either by the financial value of them on Sorare or the SO5 value that they can give you around the points that they can return. I think also it helps if you've been playing Sorare for a while, and you went through that phase with the game where you were buying rare players for a lot. For example, this guy, Robert Saldrikis, right? I mean, I bought him for £261. He is £22 on the market. I think if you're one of those managers that have gone through that pain process with Sorare, where you've ended up losing a lot of money because the game has changed and the market's changed, then it does kind of start to make you think, do I want to spend a lot on players in the future? Because I really don't anymore. And I also don't think you need to in the current game. Should we have a look at some other games on in the midweek? I do. I mean, to be honest with you, I've probably made up the loss on Aldricus from all of the threshold that I've won. So he's probably paid for. I haven't done the math on it, but he's probably paid for. But yeah, I'm locked into Aldricus forever now, I think. By the way, if you didn't know, Aldricus is actually doing pretty well in the in the lower league. So I'm hoping, look, I'm hoping that Canberra can get relegated, can get promoted. I don't actually know where they are because they were struggling. Yeah, look, kind of they can be in contention to get promoted. They're miles off the top two. But yeah, he's been having quite a good season in the lower division. Yeah, I need him to get back up into a league that's covered and then to get back to what he was doing a few years back. Do you think you'll buy a rare goalkeeper to grind thresholds in June and July? What do you mean? We've already got one. We've got one already. We've got Dominguez, Alexander Dominguez. Look, got this goalkeeper here. Yeah, so he's like our America goalkeeper. I don't think we haven't got any more America goalkeepers, but I'm hoping that we can win one. Yeah. The league stops between May and August. Well, I didn't know that. No, I don't then. No. I'm hoping we can win one though. Yeah, I'm hoping we can win one. I think the priority for me at the moment has been to just try and get in a rare America goalkeeper that can start scoring well for us, and he can do it. And then to just have a couple more options to see us through to the end of the season. And then after that, whatever happens, happens, right? What other games should we talk about, guys? What other game for the midweek do you want us to talk about and discuss today? Quataro, really? You want us to talk about Quataro? Okay. And why did you pick this game, Rude? Wow, it's so light. I didn't realize that it was so light. You can barely see me. The exposure's all over the place, isn't it? There we go. I've changed the exposure. Should be a little bit better. Guys, if you ever see anything weird on the stream, just tell me. Because a lot of the time I can't actually see what's going on. But the camera there was ridiculous because there was too much exposure there. You have Batista Limited and was looking at some of these guys for rare. Yeah, that's a little bit. That's a lot better. I mean, to be honest with you, this isn't really. You don't really want to be targeting this game because Quataro are not that good. And this is the type of game that I would say is a little bit difficult to call. I mean, I would probably back the home team here, but not confidently. So You don't really want to be targeting players here. They're all really cheap as well, I think, because they're just not that great. This guy's a legend, of course, Pablo Barrera. Yeah, he's an absolute legend. Yeah. I think in general, yeah. I don't think this is a good team to target in general. They don't keep a lot of clean sheets. They don't destroy another team by loads of goals. They just don't have that level of dominance at either end that will give you the scoring that's necessarily that good. You said you have Batista, right? This guy here. I mean, this guy's okay, but he has like no AA whatsoever. And he's not really able to score like multiple decisives, right? He's not very prolific. Yeah, that's the thing with Qatar. If you look at them, just bring them up quickly. We bring up Quattaro. They don't score a lot of goals. They don't win a lot of games. Look, they're not very dominant. So you want to be trying to avoid this type of team. If we looked at the last season, the Klausara, look again, not very dominant. They don't score lots of goals. We looked at the Apertura, but they're down here. Only scored 18. Again, they haven't really won a lot of games and just very consistent with them. You know, they finished bottom that time. I mean, the Celtic game was quite good against Dundee. So this Celtic game was very decent. But I mean, any game's pretty good for Celtic, right? Especially when they're at home. They've not been doing that great all season, but this is a game they should win quite comfortably. This is a horrible game for both of these teams here. This is a good game for Cincinnati, of course, along with Nashville. So the way it looks is that the America league this week is going to be quite competitive. We've got all our players for Tigres. I think if I wasn't playing Cap 220 Rare, then I would be playing a full Tigres stack, probably an All-Star or something. Because they have Juarez, and Juarez are not that good at all. In fact, I don't actually... There you go, look, they're down here. Oh, that's in 2022. Let's go back here. Sorry. They're right at the bottom, look. This is now. And they should place quite high up, I think, in the matchups tab, no? Let's have a little look. Yeah, they do, look. High win percentage, high clean sheet, high percentage for 3 goals scored. I don't know. We're not playing an actual full Tigre stack. That's the problem. And I'm trying to figure out whether it's a mistake or whether it's something we should look at doing. Because we are not playing them in Cap 220. And it's largely because in Cap 220 Rare, we are using Guzman as the goalkeeper. So if I wasn't using Guzman here, I would definitely use him elsewhere as a stack, right? But it's more important for me to try and win a rare card than it is to win a limited. So we have to kind of give this priority, the Cap 220 Rare. And then like in Cap 220 Limited, well, to be fair, Cap 240, we're doing a bit of a stack with it. But it's like a punty one to see whether it will hit the threshold with a DMP goalkeeper. And like Ibanez, I don't think he's going to start. So it's really punty. Yeah. All right. take another quick breather. I'll be back in 2 minutes, guys. All right, guys, we're back in the house here. So, um, I think we're done talking about the midweek for a bit. Unless you guys think there's any other games that we should be talking about, I think that's probably okay. Might do some free Tit Scout Fun coupons in a minute. Hello to Nico. How's it going, Nico? Did you do well on Pooky this week, Nico? Because you usually do quite well, don't you? In fact, I think we saw you do quite well. I think you came second in Beat the Base in the USA. In the USA League, man. We had a little look at it earlier. Yeah, you got fourth in the MLS overall. Wow, smashed it, man. Incredible effort. Yeah, you just missed out. Let's quickly bring it up. Leaderboard, then the base leaderboard, of course, then rivals, and then I think you came second. Yeah, look at that. 881.5, and then hyper skirt. Got 915.9. So just pipped you to it, man. Great effort. Really good effort from you, man. Very good. I was nowhere near. Look, I had 607.6 points. I was miles away from it. Yeah, great effort, man. Okay, so there's not much that we can do about our Cap 220 rare team. I do think I want to have another double check, though, to see if we are missing out on another forward. But this is probably going to be the team we play. You got 400 points, Cap 240 limited. Wow. But you only picked the $8. That's incredible that you got 400 points, man. With what team? What team got you the 400 points there? Hello also to Neil as well. Good to see you in it, man. Welcome. How's everything going, Neil? Especially with your teams in Sorare. Do let us know, buddy. I've already looked for a forward for the next game week, and I didn't really find one. Well, I have one, but we're a little bit restricted with the L15 because we need to find someone with an L15 or 31 if they're going to fit into this team here. So our options are a bit limited, which is why we've just got Frank Bolly in there. You need a decent result for West Ham and Brentford tonight. What's a decent result, though? Like, which team do you need to do well? Arias, Gavori, Shunlao, Hay, Amenta. Wow. The couple that I know there, yeah. Wow, incredible, Neil. That is incredible, man. Oh, I hope you can hold on to that. The Nashville prediction's up, is it? Let's have a look. Thank you. Thank you, Ligma. We'll have a little look now. I would be surprised if I saw that Mukhtar was in the starting lineup here. Yeah. So McNaughton, Willis, Maher, then Godoy, Schaffelberg. There's no, at the moment, there's no Tyler Boyd. He's at 25% there. Interesting. Got the rare threshold with 278, but got up to 290. Was happy to hit it with below 280. Nice, man. It's been a good game week for you then. I think, Nico, right? You smashed it in Sorare, smashed it in Pooky. Really good, man. Really good to hear that you guys are doing so well at the moment. God, Neil's absolutely smashed it as well. Should we have a quick look at Neil's gallery, his lineup? Here we go, Neil 1989. Look at Neil here. Look, he's in the Premier League in-season rare. Jesus, wow. He's in the Premier League in-season rare. He is on course at the moment to win £1,181. How mental is that? Look at this here from Neil. That is incredible, isn't it? Incredible. He needed a much better score from Martinez here, and then he actually might have won the whole thing. And then he could have got 2,362. But this in itself is incredible. Second place, on course to win over a grand, over £1,000. Brilliant. Brilliant stuff. Really good. Yeah. And then, yeah, he had Jose Sarr. Could have played Jose Sarr in here, and then he would have won the whole thing. It's got Man United. I think Neil is a Man United fan. It's got Man United. Captain Fernandez, which is a good captaincy pick, by the way. But Man United done a Man United. It's got the Celtic boys in here. Rest of the teams kind of let you down a bit, didn't they? But who really cares when you're about to win 1,000? Yeah, Handel was out, wasn't he? I like Handel, but he's always injured. It's so cool that you have the celebration Carlton Morris card. Really cool. Tony, you can get beat if Tony scores more than 80 points. Okay, good luck to you, man. Honestly, please let us know how you get on. Yeah, please let us know, because this is incredible. This is so good. So, guys, if you wanted any motivation at all, you can do it. You can absolutely do it. You can hit big on Sorare. Incredible. Right. We need to figure out if we are going to bring in a different forward for our Cap 220 team or not. Now, I don't think we need to, but I think I want to at least explore it. Yeah, cool. This needs to be in rare as well. Yeah, good. I don't want to spend a lot. Okay. There's some weird glitch that's happening on Sorare data. You can see it here, how every player is saying that they have no game, but we have selected that they have a game in game week 454. We saw this happening last week as well. It's a really bizarre glitch, actually. David, congratulations to you as well that you're winning your first limited in soccer. Congrats to you, man. It's always nice when you win the first one. What's the tier that you're winning? What's the tier of the prize that you're winning? This guy's been doing terrible. Livingston are shocking. Bad team, really. Wow, he done good though, didn't he? Look at that. Came off the bench and he got 2 goals off the bench. Wow. That's really good. The next game is against Motherwell. you score 2 goals off the bench, then you're likely going to be getting a start. You'd expect to be started, wouldn't you, after that? Look at that. His price has really shot up, obviously. God, someone bought him. Look at this here. This guy bought him from a bot for £2.57. That's the way to do it. That is absolutely the way to do it. Wow. Very smart. This card was probably not even up on the market, but this guy just probably spotted that he could pick him up from a bot that was unlisted because there was another card that was, yeah, probably on the market for like £2.57 or whatnot. Hello to Connor. How you doing, man? How's it going? I keep forgetting to do open the link in a new tab. So we have to keep on watching this freaking advert. I'll try and remember next time. Yeah, I'd be surprised if this guy, after scoring 2 goals, was not starting. I don't think I really want to get him though. But he would have been in. I think if I didn't already have a forward, I probably would have looked at him. Especially if I could have got him for £2 or so. Yeah, we don't really have a better option. I think the thing that I need to decide here is whether I captain Morales still, or whether I give the captaincy to somebody else. Because we're captaining Morales in 220 and limited and rare. I don't know whether I want to spread the risk or not. In fact, you know what? We probably need to focus on 220. So I need to think about a goalkeeper that I can bring in if Andre Blake is not available. So let's assume for the moment that Andre Blake is not available. We would have 53 to bring in another goalkeeper, up to 53. Okay. Now we can't look at MLS because there's no MLS at the moment. Game week 454. What's happening there? Here we go. Okay. It's kind of frustrating because I'd like to bring in Pedro Galice, as I talked about, but there's no MLS amateur for us to make the swap. So like these MLS goalkeepers are out of reach for us at the moment. And I'm pretty sure that the MLS amateurs are not going to open up, even if they released a new card. So we're basically looking here for like what goalkeeper can we get as a common. And this is the problem that we've got, is that there's actually not a lot of options for us to pick up a common. Hello to Mark Gork, man. How you doing? I mean, the alternative is that we pick up a card, right? And then we just play the limited card in 220. I think if I was going to do that, I really wouldn't want to do it for a lot of money. Yeah, there's not really players here that I want. Who's the cheapest? Probably would be Shamal George, wouldn't it? I'm not buying him. So I guess what we would have to do, well, hold on. Could technically look at a Napoli goalkeeper. Or, yeah, we could look at the Napoli goalkeeper. So 53. And then going down to the Syria R. Yeah. So we go to Napoli. They've not been doing too good recently, have they? And this is a game where they could concede. They probably will. Let's have a quick look. We don't really need Mike Magnan anymore, but he's 53 as well. Is Mera in here? Yeah, he is, isn't he, at 49? Yeah, it's not that good, but it's better than targeting the Sassuolo goalkeeper, isn't it? And the fact is, we can't choose an American goalkeeper, so I would like us, I think, to have a backup just in case Andre Blake is likely not going to play. We don't want to play Consigli. And then, yeah, we could put MLS in here, but one, two, yeah, we're not going to be able to pick anyone. We might be able to pick somebody if Sorare released the MLS Amateur today, but let's be honest, they're probably not going to do that. So I think what we do is we probably just swap in Meret here, just so we've at least got a backup option. And Meret is only 49, which actually could help us. Oh, hold on. Oh, Blake's 49 too, so it's like for like, isn't it? Sorry. Where's it gone? What am I looking for here? Oh yeah, here we go. No, I would absolutely not get the Consigli goalkeeper. Not at all. I've already got him. He's not the one to get. Like, there's no point. Like, you'd honestly get Consigli over Meret. Not at all. Not at all. Consigli can't keep a clean sheet to save his life. He's got this level of scoring to him. They never keep a clean sheet anyway, Sassuolo. They often concede 2 or 3 goals. So absolutely not, man. Not at all. Like, it's better for us to target a Meret, because even if Meret doesn't keep a clean sheet, he's going to be able to probably squeeze out more points than a Consigli will be able to. Look. So we target that goalkeeper for sure. So let's throw him in. Let's take Mike Magnan out. It's fine. We have 3 players from Napoli. Okay, so we need to make another swap. So we need to make another swap. Let's go back and do it again. Hello to Bearded Legend. Thank you so much for the sub with 11 months as well, Bearded. Amazing. Did LA Galaxy just have a bad season last season? Yeah, but LA Galaxy are a very hot and cold team. They will usually do okay at home. They'll do pretty crap away, but they can have shockers at home as well. I think they've made some good reinforcements, LA Galaxy, so they'll be much better this season. Much better. But they've always been that type of team that's very unpredictable. Here we go. Let's go back into it. Okay, so we want to take out Raspadori as well, I think. And then, oh, hold on. Yeah, that was the problem, wasn't it? Yeah, because we've got 2 Napoli players in here. So let's get rid of Raspadori. And then let's take out Mike Magnan. And then we just throw Meret in. Like that. Then we have 44 for a forward. Okay, so we just throw in whoever. It doesn't really matter. Let's just throw in, yeah, Thorvin. It's not like we're going to be using the commons anyway. Here we go. Let's do it. Okay. So now when we go back to our cap 220, ideally we want to try and play Andre Blake because we have this huge percentage on him as well of 11%. But it's a little bit touch and go whether he's actually going to be fit enough to play this week in the midweek. So if he isn't, then it's okay. We can just swap in now Meret for exactly the same cost of 49. And we've still got an option here where we could potentially take Quinn Sullivan out. I think I want to keep him in though, to be honest with you. But we've got a few other players that we could switch around. I do think I want to keep Morales in here. Because it's Morales and we're just waiting for him to hit like a mad score. Yeah, that's true, isn't it? Because Chicharito was injured for so long. I mean, it's true, but it's not because they had Dejan. But he's not quite as prolific as what they need from a striker. He did score this weekend, though. Yeah, Lehan Bum's brilliant. Yeah, he's brilliant. Should have really picked him up when he was cheap. I actually had him, but then I sold him. With Cat 240 leaving soon, don't you think low-scoring players are not as attractive? Are you only doing this because Cap 240 will still be a thing until August? Doing what? Because we're not doing this for Cap 240. We're doing this for Cap 220. So we've just brought in like a common, but then we've got players here that are good enough in the new format. We've got like a Morales and we've got a Tigres stack. So yeah, I do agree with you though. I think that low scoring players will not be attractive at all. Definitely not. They won't have as much value. Is there a Tigres prediction at the moment? Tigres is a little bit tricky. No, not at the moment. Tigres is a little bit tricky because they rotate a lot and they play lots of different formations as well. And so sometimes they play one up front, sometimes they play two, sometimes they play like three in the midfield, sometimes they play four, or even five. So it's a little bit tricky sometimes to work it out. But I think Gignac will probably keep his place in the team because he's their main starter. And this guy here is doing really well at the moment. Like he's a youngster that wasn't really starting a lot last season for them. But then when he was scoring well. And at the moment, he's in really good form. So I'm thinking that he's probably going to keep his place in my team. He's only got an L15 of 39 as well, which is great. We have 80 here. So yeah, if we play Herrera for 39, we've then only got 41. So I think it probably does need to be this team, Herrera, and then yeah, like Quinn Sullivan. One of the things I was thinking about doing initially was to play like Fernando Gorian, for example, in here for 45, but then it would only give me 79. And so then I could do Herrera here, but then I could then do, for example, Quinn Sullivan. But I want to be playing Gignac. I think Quinn has been playing well too. Yeah, I think the important thing actually, it's a good point from Volts, but I think the important point is to differentiate between cheap players and good value players, right? Because a good value player can be somebody that's cheap, but actually is going to hold up with the level of scoring you get from them. Whereas a cheap player is not actually always a good player. A cheap player can just be someone that's just cheap, right? And just bringing them in to hope that they can do well, but they're not really that great. So I think it's really important when you're looking at players and you're thinking about the new format, you're looking at players and you're thinking, he's cheap, but he's good value. And then you're looking at someone else, you're thinking, he's cheap, but he's not good value because he's not going to be able to hold his SO5 value in the new format. Okay, let's go back. Yeah, I think we'll do this for now. We'll hold this for now. But now that we've got Merit, we know that we can bring him in. So we don't have to worry about a DMP, but ideally we want to keep him. So we'll kind of make a last minute call on that one, I think. And if Andre Blake is definitely not going to take part this week, then we'll just take him out and we'll switch in Merit like that. But I think that's probably going to be our 220 team. What do you guys reckon? Do you think this has let's say that everyone is fit enough to play? Would you expect this team to hit a reward in 220? I think it's a difficult one to say for me personally, because it would depend a lot on whether Morales can finally step up, whether Quinn Sullivan can get involved in the decisive, because if he doesn't, he's not going to score that good. And then also, look, we've got, because like Sullivan's a midfielder, but he's a midfielder that almost plays like a forward in terms of how he scores, right? So he has like no AA game really whatsoever. Herrera is a forward. So we have two forwards. So it's like, it's quite a risky, like all or nothing type of team, right? Either does amazing or it bombs really quickly. Yeah, actually, you know what? That's not a bad shout from FBL Thinker. That's really not a bad shout. Because one of the things that I was just saying is that I don't know whether I'm comfortable captaining Morales in 220 limited and captaining Morales in 220 rare. Because we are going to captain him in one team for sure. I don't know at the moment. And I don't think I want to captain him in two teams, right? Because then if it doesn't pay off, then you're both teams are done. So I was wondering whether we captained Farrell here instead of Morales, and then we kept the captaincy on Morales and limited. But actually, it's a good shout from FBL Thinker because Gignac against Juarez here. Juarez are bottom of the league, and Juarez will probably concede a couple of goals here. So maybe captaining Gignac is the way in limited. So it's a good call. It's a really good call. If we bring up the lineup builder, let's put it in the lineup builder to see what it would do. The Cat 220. Let's update my common cards as well. There we go. So Merit's in there. If we don't suggest a lineup, okay, so Gignac's in there with Morales, and then Juan Vigon's in there with Herrera. So they're not going for Quinn Sullivan, but that's fine. I think I would go with Sullivan. And then it's actually suggesting that we should captain Guzman, but we're not going to be playing Guzman, right? Because we need him for Cap 220. But this is a good opportunity for Gignac to probably hit a massive score. Like as in like a score like that, 80, 90. He doesn't do it very often. What was the last score he got against Juarez? Okay, he didn't play there. Played there. This was back in 2023. He got 42. He scored a goal there. Got 80 there. Got 47 there. 34, 43. Okay. Yeah, it's a good shout, man. I like it. So I think we're going to do it. I think we are going to switch it. Because I very much like to try and spread the risk rather than taking, like doubling down on the risk, right? Playing two Moraleses anyway is already a double risk. So we need to try and spread the captaincy risk. And I think that's a good way to do it. So why don't we put the captaincy on Gignac like that? Cool. What do you guys think about the team? Card reward or no card reward? I'd be surprised if we don't win something. Not going to lie. I think we've got the fixtures to do well here. We've got the players to do well. This is probably going to be the game week now where Gignac doesn't do anything, and then Morales hits a score of 100, and then we're going to be cursing that we didn't captain him. But FPL Thinker's right. we should be thinking about this fixture. And Gignac is great. It's quite consistent at scoring goals as well, or getting attacking returns. And Morales at the moment has just been very underwhelming. So as much as I want to keep the faith with him, I think if Morales was like smashing it, hitting like 80s, 90s, 100s every week at the moment, if he was in this like run of form, then I would probably be captaining him in the Cap 220 rare and the Cap 220 limited. But because he isn't, I still want to play him because it is Morales at the end of the day. But I just, yeah, it's smarter and it is more sensible if we then put the captaincy on somebody else in one of the other teams. So very good call from FPL Thinker. Really good call, man. I'd like to see what the lineup builder gives that team. I haven't done it yet, so let's do it now. If we take out him, take out this guy, we put Morales in here. And then we put Quinn Sullivan in. Okay, and then why can't we choose the captaincy here? For some reason, it's not allowing us to do the captaincy, but it scores 72, which is good. It's pretty solid. If we put merit in there, it's probably going to be the same, isn't it? It's a little bit lower at 67. Yeah, true. Very true. Oh, okay. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Graham. So if we put Blake back in there and then we captain Gignac, it goes up to 76, yeah. It's pretty good. Okay. And then the Cap 220 rare pretty much just picks itself just because we don't have more options. I think the annoying thing here is that I really wanted to be able to play Stefan Garteman, but we couldn't fit Garteman in because, yeah, Guzman has an L15 of 54, which is high for Cap 220. That's the problem with him at the moment. If he was under 50, then we could have probably looked at Garteman and we wouldn't have needed to have gone out and got a Farrell. But yeah, this team pretty much picks itself. All right. Should we do some free tip scout fun coupons? Or at least open them up. We need to start thinking about our we need to start thinking about what we're going to predict on Pooky as well for the upcoming week. Okay. So the free tip scout fun coupons are available. It's pretty solid too. It's telling us to captain Farrell, which I completely get. Farrell could do very well here. Why is his price going down? Fucking hell. I thought we bought him very cheap, to be honest with you. He's got a very, very good fixture. Interesting. Out of Go Ahead Eagles, Heronveen, NEC, which is the best team for SO5, you think Go Ahead Eagles? Are you thinking of getting a stack, are you, FBL Thinker? You're thinking of getting a stack now? Why don't you just wait until the end of the season? When they'll be like really cheap and then you can just use them for next season. Yeah, I noticed you picked one up, Scud. You picked one up for really cheap as well, didn't you? You picked one up for like £4 or something. I noticed that on the weekend. Yeah, I think you've done really well there to pick up a Farrell. I'm surprised though that he has not been increasing, you know, because he is going to be in the starting lineup for this week, and it's quite a good fixture for them as well. So just a little bit surprised with Farrell that almost feel like the market is not aware, but that's okay. We've got him anyway, so we don't really care too much. I just would have expected he would have been climbing a little bit more given his fixture and his scoring potential and his low L15. Look, home game, low L15 of 41, has the very real potential to hit like a big score. I'm sure he will. Okay, let's go over to here for a little bit. Right. For the next game week in Pooky, no, they expect Farrell to come in. Yeah, because Mensa had a shocker. Mensa had a shocker in the last game, so they expect Farrell to come back in. I think for the next game week we're gonna do. Well, we're probably just gonna do the same as what we usually do: German League and the USA League, right? If we can afford to do it. We have 249 energy. Wow, we can only just about do it. This is going to cost us 90. And then this one here is going to cost us 140. Okay. So I think we're going to do that. I think if we had more energy, then we would probably also do the Premier League or the Argentinian League. The problem with we have a good ball for the Argentinian League, but the problem is that this is going to cost us 140. And I think we also want to be doing the USA League and the German League. So if we wanted to do the Argentinian League, the USA League, that's going to be 280. And then we're going to basically need what? 370. 370 energy to be able to do these three leagues every week. It's a lot. We'd need a lot more Pokeballs to do that. You have no idea what you should do on Pookie this week. What is everybody doing on Pookie this week? What are the leagues that everyone is targeting? Don't forget that the Beat the Base is in the Japanese league, guys. You're giving the La Liga one last game week. I've never really done that good in La Liga, so I don't tend to play it anymore. I tend to avoid it. I also don't have a La Liga ball, which I don't think helps either. I don't really like the La Liga for predicting because it's too unpredictable, you know? In terms of like who could win, who could draw, who could lose, and also what the scores are going to be. Just a very unpredictable league. Very difficult. Yeah, it's too difficult. I think the other thing is maybe worth keeping in mind as well. It's always worth keeping this in mind is like where the prestige is. So the Spanish league has 5,000. But if we look at the last game week, right? The live game week. It got 19,400. Champions League got 20,000. English League got 26,000. German League got 23,000. French League got 25, whatever. Italian League got 25. USA League got 18. So when you consider the Spanish League, I think the Spanish League is too difficult versus the upside to it. You know what I mean? So if I want to try and win a lot of money, the Spanish League should almost have a much higher prestige for me to then be attracted to play it. But the fact is that in game week 66, it only had 19,400, a lot lower than some of the other leagues, which I think are a lot easier to predict in. Like the English League, I think, is a lot easier than the Spanish League. The USA League, even though this league was a little bit weird this weekend, the general rule of thumb is that if the USA League is going to command the same amount of prestige as the Spanish League, then probably this is going to be where I'm going to be going into more. Same for the German League. You need to do better with a PSG ball. Where did you finish then, Arthur, this week with your PSG ball? This is an idea from Twitch Gaming. Free Tip Scout, you know what would be a cool option to have? Being able to swap your Pokeball once a season for a locked amount of Matic where you get any other league than the league your ball is at the moment of swapping. So if you don't like the league, swap it and get another league. Yeah, you're right. This would be quite cool. But because in principle, that would be actually quite fun to do as well. But I think because they released the stickers, and it's almost not in their interest, is it, to do that? Because they want you to be like me, but I don't have the league that I want for my Pokeball. So then my options are buy more Pokeballs or buy more stickers in the hopes of getting that league, right? I mean, if they'd done it for Matic, then I'm sure that they would obviously get some money for that, right? Of course, but I think they want everyone just to be buying rather than just changing their existing balls. But I actually quite like the idea. I do like it. I feel like if the game was in a more evolved, like if the game was in a more mature state, like maybe if the game had been like around for 3, 4, 5 years or something, that'd probably be a feature that I could imagine would be in the game then. I know because they're still growing and they basically their main focus is they want people to be buying more from them. It's a good idea that I can't see them doing anytime soon, but it would be fun, wouldn't it? It would be fun. Who would you swap? Like if you could do a swap right now, what Pokeball would you swap and for what league? Twitch Gaming. Because I think I know what I would swap. If I went into my collection here, I would probably swap this ball because this is a Japanese league ball, and I don't really intend to be predicting in the Japanese league. So I would love to be able to swap this league out for like an MLS ball or a Premier League ball. Even if it costs me a lot to do, because you would expect the Premier League to be one of the most sought after ones. So probably that would be the really expensive one based on the idea that you've suggested. But I would almost be like willing to do it because at the moment I have a Pokeball that I'm not really using. And I don't really intend to use it, even though I can use it. I'd much prefer to use a Pokeball that has a league attached to it that is a league that I want to predict in, right? Lucky Canoe, thank you so much for the 6 months as well, man. Welcome back into the channel. I'm happy with my Bundesliga ball so far, but if I'd swap, I would take any top 5 league ball instead. Not interested in the lower leagues ones. And Scuds would swap a rookie for a legendary. Yeah, I'd probably join you on that. Yeah. What I was thinking the other day, right, is that with Ascension, how you can combine 2 legendaries to create a mythical one, right? What's the ball that you get when you combine 2 mythicals? Does anyone know? Maybe that doesn't even exist. It probably doesn't It's not even a ball that exists yet in the game. But if you think about Ascension, there's almost no limit to it. Because every time you go up a higher level, you can then just combine those high level balls to create another higher level one. But at the moment, I don't think that there is a higher level ball than Mythical. Supersonic. You have to beat Dr. Robotnik to to claim it. So you do the Ascension, and then you've got to do a boss battle against him. You've got to out-predict him. What was I going to do? Oh, that's what I was going to do. I was also going to head over to Ultimate Champions as well. I'd like to say that we're going to do some rivals here, but we're not. Even though technically, look at these missions. These missions are so crappy. Win an arena match to win 2 rep points. Like I care about the rep points. It's quite cool though that the streaks don't reset within a time frame. So, you know, maybe if there's another event or something that entices me to spend my energy or whatnot, or just play rivals, then I'll do it, and then that will contribute hopefully towards getting the 3 arena match wins. But yeah, at the moment, not. Let's go over to Ultimate Champions. I'm finding that I'm getting more and more into Ultimate Champions, which I think is a good thing. What I would like to do is I would like to buy a new forward. So I keep having a little gander at the market. Okay. If it wasn't for the collection score, you'd play UC more. What you mean, the collection score on Sorare? Sorare data defaulting to Sorare baseball as default. I think your theory about the logging out before logging out being an update could be correct, but it'll be a baseball update. Oh, interesting. Yeah, their season is starting soon, isn't it? It's so funny though. It's so bizarre how the site does that. Technically, that shouldn't really be doing that. They should be able to implement an update without it really interfering. But it's also a good telltale sign, isn't it? So if there is an update today, then we know for sure then that whenever we see that happening with Sorare or with Sorare data, that there's a new update coming in the game. I kind of started to put that theory together because I noticed it in the past a few times, and I was thinking, well, every time it seemed like they were putting a new update in, there was some kind of a weird thing going on with logging in and logging out. So we'll see today, right? Hey, I don't know why, but Ultimate Champions doesn't let me deposit. I click funding and nothing happens. The reason being is that the UNA token at the moment is a new token. So you can't deposit or you can't withdraw into the game right now. I was actually reading about that. I was reading their blog. I wonder if I can find their blog really quickly. I can. And I'll show you why, because I was reading it last night. So we go back onto Ultimate Champions here, and then we go onto their Medium. And then I think what we do is we look at this one here, the UNA token rollout. And in this article, they actually say, here we go, where is it? So look, January the 16th, withdrawals and deposits will be temporarily paused on Ultimate Champions, setting the stage for UNA's introduction. Okay. And then they basically say how, I think they explain it a little bit more in here. about how that's almost a mechanism designed to make sure that once Una's available to buy and it's all like on the exchanges properly, that then you'll be able to deposit and withdraw. Yeah. It's basically about them just trying to get the token all on the exchanges. Did they say it here? Yeah, look, here we go. Deposits and withdrawals will reopen in tandem with these listings. Look. So they want to get Una exchange listings happening. And then once they're kind of all up on the crypto exchanges that they want them to be, and the whatever it takes to kind of get the tokens all sorted and ready to go, then the deposits and withdrawals will be available again on UC. Let's go back to UC though, quickly. So I have just shy of $18 here. Okay. I really don't think we can get anyone as a forward that we're going to be interested in, but we keep looking every day to see who's new on here, who we might be interested in. I'm going to say this guy is actually not too bad, but we can't afford him. I wonder if we can find another card on the market. That's the cheapest one. He's not too bad. A Futa. Free tip scout, check the Sorare store. The scarcity boosts have been reduced and are half the price now. Are they really? Yes, they are. Have Sorare communicated anything about that? Probably there's a comms coming on that soon, right? Here we go. Look, 6 minutes ago. There you go. So good spot there from Twitch Gaming. So 6 minutes ago, Sorare mentioned, well, they posted on their Twitter that there are some crazy deals awaiting for you in the club shop. For 24 hours, enjoy a 50% discount on all our XP level up items. You have only until 5 p.m. Central European time tomorrow to use these special level ups. What do you mean to use them? Surely if you've bought it, then you can use it whenever, no? Please note that classic level ups purchased before this promotion will be available to use right after the end of this special sale. Oh, so you literally do have to buy them and then you have to use them. Wow. Is anybody actually doing that? Oh, was it a Nathabam? Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. Sorry, Nathabam. I didn't give you the credit when it was it was due for you. Good spot, Nathabam. Good spot, man. Is anybody actually doing this? I mean, the unique is 15K now. The super rare is 7,500. The rares are 3,750. I can tell you now, I'm not going to do it, but I would love to know if anyone is doing it. I mean, to be fair, I'm probably a little bit tempted to do it for the rare, because trying to get a rare up to level 20 can be a bit of a pain when they're in kind of like level 19. I don't know if I have a level 19 card, like a level 19 rare card. There should be a way, shouldn't there? There should really be a way where you can sort by XP or level here. This is definitely a filter that's missing. Oh, here we go. Card level. Tell a lie. There is one here. Forget that. You can tell how little I use these filters. There is one. Amazing. Okay. Does it work though? Okay, it does work, but it required a little bit of tinkering. Let's take this down. Okay, so then we've got this card, which is an 18. I don't really have a lot of cards in rare that are high level anymore. Barrel's 15. Uldricus is 15. And then, yeah, 13. Well, technically a higher level than that. Yeah. It's a bit weird, isn't it? Yeah, you type it in and it doesn't really do it, does it, Graham? You've got to kind of like tweak around with it. Like this guy here is like actually a level 13. But he was coming up for level 17. It's so weird. It is broken, isn't it? Look, we type minimum of 18, and yet he's coming up. Robin Molon's right to come up because Robin Molon's a level 20. But why is Yuya coming up? Who would be your go-to America defender if you could choose any? It would be Morales, yeah. Leonardo Morales. Well, it would be Morales, but I think also, to be fair, if there was like no budget restrictions whatsoever, then it would be like Kai Wagner. Yeah. It'd be wrong not to say Kai Wagner because he's just incredible. But I'm also like a huge fan of Morales. I like the way he plays. So Morales and Kai Wagner, yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right, but that's not good, is it? That's not like it shouldn't be like that. It should be showing me what is the level that he's at right now, rather than showing me the level he was at before they lost the level. Like, how does that help me? I mean, like, he's not that level anymore, so weird. Like, they really should fix that. Just a pain, isn't it? More than anything. Okay, so we don't need to buy them. We could buy them. I think if you buy them, am I understanding this correctly? Okay, it says, look, my understanding of this is that if you bought them today, you have to apply the discount. You have to apply the XP level up before 5 p.m. tomorrow, right? It says you only have until 5 p.m. tomorrow to use these special level ups. Surely that should be buy. Do you have to actually use it before 5 p.m. tomorrow? Because I don't know, that's not really own your game, is it? You know, if someone's bought them, they should be able to use them whenever they want, technically. I don't understand. I would get it if it says you've got basically up until 5 p.m. tomorrow to buy them, because there's a 24-hour window where you need to buy them. Then once you buy them, they're in your inventory, no? They then go into your inventory and then you can use them whenever. If it's saying you have to buy them and then you have to use them, I don't know. I don't think that's should be like that, really. You never know with Sorare. You never know whether like they actually mean that, or is that some kind of like lost in translation, because they're not native English speakers. They're a French company. So did they actually mean that you've got until 5 p.m. to buy them? But then once you've got them, they're in your inventory. You can use them whenever, right? Which makes sense to me. Or you literally have to buy them and use them before the discount ends. Please note that classic level ups purchased before this promotion will be available for use right after the end of this special sale. So from the sounds of this here, they are actually saying that you need to use it. You not only need to buy it before 5 p.m. Central European time tomorrow, but then you need to use them. You need to actually apply the level ups, right? Yeah. Imagine you buy them now, your internet goes down, you can't apply them, and they remove them from your inventory. Yeah. Yeah, good old Margaret Collins promoting the OnlyFans or whatnot. Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to do it, but if you want to do it, the option is there to do it now. So check it out. We're going to go back over to Ultimate Champions, though. And we're going to see if there is a forward here that we can buy. Okay. One of the things that I have found on Ultimate Champions is that it's actually really difficult to find the quality players that you're after. It's, you know, like you go on Sorare and you can go and look for a forward and you're basically inundated. Like you're overwhelmed with the amount of choice because there's just like a ton of supply on Sorare. On Ultimate Champions, it's quite nice when you go on the marketplace, you're looking for a good player and you don't really find one because that's how it should be, right? You shouldn't almost be able to just find those players like easily. There should be a lack of, you know, available supply for them, which then makes them very demanding, like as in there's a highly sought after. So right now, we can see that there's a few forwards here up to $23, but there isn't really like the players that I'm keen on. And I think in the game in general, I think probably what the game needs is it needs more forwards, like top quality forwards from top quality leagues, right? There's a lot of forwards, there's a lot of players in general from some of the small leagues or not really the big leagues that they cover. They almost need more leagues in here and more top quality players from them. But it's kind of cool that they don't have it at the moment too, because as I say, you're then thinking, well, who do I really go and get? There's nobody here. Like this guy's okay. This guy here, Sava Petrov, but I don't want to target this league, right? Because I think these leagues are not going to have a lot of life on the platform, if I'm honest with you. So I want to avoid buying a player from a league that I don't think will be covered like long term. Like this guy here, for example. Like this league. We know that the Icelandic league is not being covered anymore. So again, we don't want to be looking at these players whatsoever. How much is Alfie May? This guy here, Alfie May. This is the guy you mean, Alfie May? I like Aaron Collins, but I liked Collins when he was at Bristol. I should look at this guy. Why? Why should I look at this guy? Scoring not good at the moment, but can improve. That's actually a good point. He's got a lot of goals, isn't he? Look at that here. He's got a ton of goals right now. 16 in 31 is a fantastic return. 3.5 shots per game. Wow. Yeah, he's doing bad at the moment, but you're right. God, he's come right up from the lower levels of football too, isn't he? He's been like a real A real low-level footballer. I like those footballers as well that come through the lower reaches of the football pyramid. How many um how many goals did he get last season? He got 20 in 39. Looks like a great shout from you. Yeah, good shout from you, FBL. What's his overall record? This might be the player that I'm after. And we'll bring up UC Helper as well. We'll have a look at his overall scoring. So on the market for 19.75. Last sale was 2 days ago for $17. It's got some really good high-end scoring. Yeah, over like the last, 10 or so games, he's been shocking. But before that, he was brilliant. They're doing all right, aren't they, Charlton? I think. League-wise, I think they're doing okay. Oh, no, they're not. Oh, they're really not. Okay. I thought they were doing a lot better, but they're not. They're in danger of getting relegated. We don't have to worry too much because the League Two is covered in Ultimate Champions, right? So even if they did get relegated, there we go, League Two's covered. Don't know whether he would play League Two, though. I mean, based on the number of goals that he's been scoring, there'd probably be a League One team that would be interested in poaching him. Alfie May. Yeah, I mean, if he did get relegated with them and he ended up staying in League Two, then he would be a monster, wouldn't he? That is a very good return. That's very good. What's his overall scoring record? It's good, isn't it? Well, for Doncaster, it wasn't so good, but for Charlton and certainly for Cheltenham, that's a very good record. 66 goals, 165, 20 and 38 for Charlton. Very good. It's a great shout, man. That's a good shout. I like that. He is 30, but that's okay. I actually don't know whether we can afford him because we don't actually have enough. We've only got 356. So is there another card on the market that's cheaper? No, there isn't. Oh, so we're just going to be able to miss out on this type of player. But a good shout. Yeah. So I'll keep him in mind, FBL. Yeah, definitely. Are there other players that are like him? That's it. This guy's good, actually. I like this guy. He's young as well. I tell you, I'm really looking for an elite Syrian, but I don't think I can get an elite Syrian at the moment anymore for under 20. There's Aaron Collins, who I like too, but yeah, this is above our price range now. Really seeing if we could spot. This guy's doing well at the moment, but he's not really the type of player that I'm interested in. Yeah. So this is kind of what I mean is that there's a lot of players here, but there's probably not a lot of quality players that I'm really after. No, I haven't checked Jennings. Check Jennings out. One of the things I want them to improve on this page, right? Maybe you guys have seen it too, but when you find a player page like this on Ultimate Champions, it's really, you have to almost go out your way to bring up his cards, like to see what's on the market. So what I want to do here is I want to immediately see then, okay, Jennings, like what are the cards on the market, right? But kind of what I have to do is I have to go to all cards here, right? That takes a while to load. Then we've got to find an epic that we're interested in. Then we have to click on the epic. Then on this page, we need to go down to search on the market. It's a really weird way to bring up the market on this guy or on any of the cards at all. So I hope that they change the flow of how you find the market, because it doesn't make sense to do it that way. You almost need a page here, like a tab, that then shows you, you click on it and it shows you the cards on the market, rather than having to do that real weird, convoluted way to bring it up. They are still in a beta, yeah. They're in a permanent beta. They've been in like a 2-year beta. Yeah, so he's a little bit outside of our price range. We are selling a few players, but we've got them up listed probably, yeah, more than what they have been going for. So not really expecting anybody here to sell. We've already done our team for UC as well. Okay. All right. I don't think we need to do anything more. Do we need to do anything more, guys? Is there anything we haven't covered? Looked at the midweek. Our teams are done for the midweek. We've looked at a few players. Yeah. All right. Guys, that's it for today. Thank you so much for your time as always. And I'll be back again tomorrow, usual time at 12. So until then, thank you so much and have a good